check. Kevin, Daryl seems low.
I seem low. Testing. 1, 2.
Mic check. Mic check. That sounds good.
2. Tight.
Mic check. Is that good, Daryl?
Mic check. It sounds better now.
Yeah.
Mic check. Mic check.
Hey, Brad, give us a. Are you on?
Oh. Bradley, he gets the high-tech headset.
Yeah, you like that? Check, check.
Yeah,
1,
good.
2, 1, 2.
He's
check.
hot. He's hot.
He can do the
I can do it all. You like the
Star
purple one?
Spangled Banner.
Oh, also, this thing is more powerful than this thing. So you can give it. Nah, a little bit more.
2 fingers. I learned that last week.
Right.
2 fingers.
How about my chin?
That's,
How about a bigger chin if you put it away?
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Kern High School's live streaming sports. This is kernhigh.org. If you're following us on Twitter, KHSD Athletics. Are you kidding me? We did it. Last week, we were live streaming the SWIL Wrestling Finals over at Frontier High School. The numbers went like this incrementally every 15 minutes. People kept dialing us up, tuning in, watching. Get over here in the lights, Brad. And you're a big part of it. I tried to stay out of the way. Daryl Pope, Brad Hull right here with me, two wrestling icons. I'll give you their resumes here in a little bit. Kevin Willie on camera. And, of course, our director, Kyle Wiley, on the board. Well, we said it. People wanted it. We got it. We're here at the Central Section CIF Valley Championship Finals at East Bakersfield, one of the distinguished high schools in the state of California. It's not the end of the road, Brad Hull, but we're getting closer. Tell us about the dynamics of a Central Section Championship.
So this term is so important because this is when you mix that Clovis element, the track, and the Fresno area schools with the Bakersfield schools. This is considered the meat grinder of the tournaments as you progress to the state tournament. So placing here is a big feather in someone's hat and put himself in a position to really be a state qualifier. The guys that you're going to see tonight in the finals, if you win the state, you win the Valley Championships, or you're in the finals, most likely you're going to be on that podium come March at the state tournament. There's a good correlation. I'd say 80-90% of the finalists here will make that top 8 of the state tournament come March.
That's Brad Hull, by the way. He did his prep wrestling at Monache High School, a two-time state placer, recruited by the one and only Daryl Pope, who I'll get to in a moment. Foothill High School coach of wrestling for 15 years, the athletic director last year. Now he's the Foothill Dean of Students here in Bakersfield. He wrestled at all of our alma mater. We're all road runners at Cal State University Bakersfield for 4 years, 95 through 99. Coach Kerr and Coach Pope. He was on the 96-99 Pac-10 championship teams. This is Brad Hull. You're going to hear him tonight. Very little of me, and a lot of this gentleman, Daryl Pope. Daryl, first of all, as you hear Brad talking about, the probability of place tonight means show and possibly that first slot in the state championships in a few weeks here in Bakersfield. But let's back it up and stay here tonight. Your thoughts on Valley Championship Wrestling?
Well, it doesn't get any better than this. Outside of the state championships and probably the Doc B tournament, this is the toughest tournament in the state of California year in and year out. You have 14 weights in the high school state championships. 10 of the number 1 ranked wrestlers are in this tournament, and we're going to watch them tonight. That's how tough this tournament is. And in a lot of ways, this tournament is tougher than next week. The top 10 in each weight advances next week to the Masters Championship. They'll add another 6. There'll be a 16-man bracket, and out of those 16, 10 will advance to the state championships. So just the fact that you're coming out of this divisional tournament, you're one of the top 10, is a good chance you're going to be one of the top 10 next week, which gets you a shot to the state tournament, which is the granddaddy of them all, and that's what everybody here is aiming toward. You come into this tournament, number 1, you qualify, be one of the top 10. Then number 2, you see how high you can place, and the ultimate goal, of course, is to win a state championship. But this is going to be a great event, and I'm excited. This is some good wrestling.
Here's our national anthem, and as we always do on kernhigh.org, we step back, we pull away, and we also honor our country with a national anthem here at the Valley Championships.
Playing the national anthem this evening, 2 gentlemen. First, Mr. Nick Gonzalez is a former wrestler and graduate of East Bakersfield High School, who is also a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley. He is playing with Isaiah Morfin, a Valley Oaks Charter High School graduate and also a graduate of the University of California at Berkeley.
fan.
Yeah, listen to that. So you got...
That's fantastic. Hey, Vance, if I could digress a moment, that young man down there on the saxophone that just blew this crowd away, that's the nephew of Larry Morgan. Larry Morgan graduated from this high school right here, East High School. Of course, went on to wrestle for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and then in the early 70s was 4th in the World Championships. And even though Larry Morgan took 4th in the World Championships, I think his nephew has more talent than Larry.
What a beginning to tonight's CIF Central Section Wrestling Championship. These are the finals. We're going to take our one break. When we come back, we won't break. It'll be a freight train to the finish. For Brad Hull, Daryl Pope, Vance Palm, back right after this.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
We're also going to be teaching the hard skills, which includes learning the Unreal Engine. And what the Unreal Engine is it's a game development tool that students will be able to use to make their very own video games. And this is something that actually industry professionals use every day to make some of the top-selling games. They're all the same size. You're all on the same plane. There's no undulating terrain or anything like that.
Our instructor, he's really amazing. He encourages everybody. He's really fun, and he makes learning fun.
So they've got top-of-the-line computers here, and they're set up to excel. I would be surprised if other students their age coming out of high school would have anywhere near the level of expertise that these guys are going to have.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm, Brad Hull, Daryl Pope here for the Central Section CIF Valley Championship Wrestling. We're going to be talking in a little bit of a hush tone right now because we are having a dedication, a memorial service here. I reckon we're commending someone that we lost in the community. I'll turn it over to my colleague, Brad Hull. Tell us about what's happening, Brad.
Well, Bill Connett was one of the staples in the officiating world around the Kern County and Bakersfield area. He was the signer for all the officials. He's the one that would get everybody to go where the tournaments or things. He was just an ambassador to the sport of wrestling for Kern County, and they recently lost him last December to a battle with cancer, I believe. And so right now that's what they're doing. They're giving an honor to his long service.
Moment of silence for Bill Connett.
Thank you.
Well, it's very apt and apropos moment now. And, you know, Daryl last week and Brad last week, you guys can jump in at any time. We had wrestlers that had to get to this. We had our SWYL finals last week at Frontier. To go in this first period right now, Reyes
up. Get a fall right here. That's
and
it.
It's a pin. Nice champion for the Titans.
Ozuna is the more experienced wrestler, but Adrian Gonzalez, well, you know, when I was a young wrestler going up against a big stud and I kind of figured I didn't have a chance, nobody thought I had a chance. Bottom, first thing he's got to do is build a base. Uh-oh. Bryant drives a hard half. He's got him in trouble.
Yeah,
Bryant's looking for the fall. And Dolera takedown and takes the lead, and that'll do it. Clock will expire, and Loeb with a come-behind victory. Bakersfield sits in 4th place. Frontier sits in 4th place. Bakersfield sits in 5th place. And mathematically, it's not over. The Drillers could pass Frontier, but it's going to take some help from the Titans to lose all their matches. So from a team perspective, it's going to be interesting to see if Frontier can place ahead of BHS for the first time ever in the divisional championship since the inauguration of the Frontier Titan Wrestling program.
That's the voice of Darryl Pope. He's actively the principal at Thompson Junior High here in Bakersfield. He coached Stephen Neal, the 1999 world champion, 3-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriot. He was the assistant coach at CSUB from 1991 to 96. He's a 1982 California Wrestling State Champion, a 2-time Division II National Champion, a 3-time Division I All-American, 1996 NCAA Division I Assistant Coach of the Year, and he was inducted in 2013. I was there for the ceremony into the California Wrestling Hall of Fame. But for me personally, above all of that, he's a longtime great friend of mine, and when I was playing hoop at Cal State, great to have him there. Okay, here comes our finalist, Darryl. First one out.
Well, up first tonight's going to be the 106-pound weight division. And out there on the mat now is a sophomore from Frontier. That's Cole Reyes. And he'll be taking on a freshman from Clovis, Gianno Petrucelli. And at 113 pounds going out on the mat now, that's Matthew Oking. He's from Buchanan. He's just a sophomore. He'll be taking on Devin Murphy from Clovis North, a freshman. That's a rematch of what happened last week in the track championship. So we're going to see a rematch there. 120 pounds from Buchanan, a junior, Ethan Leake. And he'll be taking on Wyatt Nielsen, a senior from Clovis High School. At 126 pounds, a sophomore from Buchanan, Tyler Dean, and he's going to be taking on what is possibly the best high school wrestler in the country. He's a 3-time California High School State Champion. He's going for his 4th title this year. He's a senior committed to Illinois, Justin Mejia. Woof. 132 pounds from Lemoore, a senior, Gary Joint. He's a Fresno State University commit, and he's also going to be taking on a Fresno State University commit in Clovis North's Chris DeLosha. 138 pounds, Jaden Enriquez, Mission Oak, a senior, and he's on his way to Michigan State next year, and he'll be taking on Brett Villarreal from Buchanan, a junior from the Clovis area. 145 pounds, a junior from Monache High School, Bo Bradley, and he's going to be taking on the local favorite here, the defending state champion, committed to Arizona State University, Navante Demison from Bakersfield High School. 152 pounds, a senior from Frontier. This is a rematch of last week's SWYL finals. Jonathan Garcia for the Titans, and he'll be taking on Dylan Cravens, another senior from Bakersfield High School. Last week, Cravens won in a fantastic match. That's going to be a great rematch tonight. 160 pounds, a senior out of Clovis, Brandon Martino. He's on his way to Fresno State University, and he'll be taking on Joel Romero, a junior from Buchanan High School. Moving up to 170 pounds. A couple of seniors will be battling it out tonight. Victor Vargas from Clovis and Jeremy Moss, a local here from Liberty High School. And you can tell by the cheers, it's a local crowd here, and no doubt being at East High School. How about this one right here? 195 pounds, a sophomore and a junior, Ryan Reyes from Clovis West.
And we skipped one. We're in 182s.
Oh, my bad. 182s, Anthony Montalvo from Buchanan. He'll be taking on the local Sam Loera from Bakersfield High School, a senior who's on his way to Adams State. 195 pounds. Ryan Reyes, a sophomore from Clovis West. He'll be taking on Trevor Irvin, a junior from Buchanan High School. A couple of Clovis area kids going at it. 220 pounds, Cade Belche from Buchanan, the senior, on his way to the University of Penn. He'll be taking on John Halagian. There we go. Halagian. We'll get it right.
I love it.
John Halagian from Clovis North, a senior. And the big boys tonight. Seth Nevels, a junior from Clovis, taking on Armando Barceños from Hanford High School. He's the senior, and Nevels the junior.
Thank you, Daryl. Well, Brad, you heard Daryl read off these names and their achievements. Time to get ready here, bud.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Here's the thing. As a coach and as a wrestler, all you want to do is you want to qualify on this tournament. You want to get the top 10. You want to move on. It's all about progressing to the state tournament. But you're going to see some kids out here that are really not content with qualifying. They want to be Valley champs. So there's going to be a couple of these guys that are going to let it fly, and they're going to have some fun tonight because they want that Valley championship title under their belt.
Thank you, Brad. Also, don't forget, at KHSD Athletics, we're tweeting all of these major events tonight. Don't miss us on Twitter. Brad Holt to my right, Daryl Pope to my left. Here we go.
This is an important match here at 106 pounds. Cole Reyes from Frontier and Gianno Petrocelli from Clovis. Clovis is in second place behind Buchanan. Mathematically, they're not out of the team title. Clovis would, though, have to win all 6 of their finalists. They have 6 guys in the finals. They would have to win all 6 in order to overtake Buchanan. Of course, Buchanan would have to lose all of theirs.
The local Cole Reyes in the blue, Petrocelli in the gold.
I want to say these guys met up, I think, at Doc Buchanan in the semifinals, and it was a real close match, but I believe Cole Reyes won that one, maybe like 1 or 2 points. So they definitely have some history with each other, and that's probably why you see a little bit slower start by Cole, because he's been dominant through this whole tournament on fire, but there's that respect level and there's that history there, so you're going to get a little filling out process this first round.
Minute and a half level.
They're fairly well matched here. Cole Reyes is ranked 5th in the state of California, and Petrocelli from Clovis is the 7th ranked wrestler in the state of California. So number 5 and number 7 out there right now.
Cole Reyes is a sophomore at Frontier High School, coached by Mr. Kurt Moore and Carlo.
Each of them are working that front headlock. They're going to look to try to get position, get inside tie.
At the minute mark.
Get inside tie and try to look for some type of leg attack.
Cole is currently ranked 5th in the state, 1st.
Nice.
Nice low single there. Got the angle, secured the takedown. Cole Reyes with the first points of the night.
Tournament victories this year, Sinkin Classic, first place.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get a escape here. Keep it close, kind of nullify the takedown. So definitely needs to get an escape by the Clovis kid, and Cole needs to ride as tough as he can. Try right out this period.
30 seconds left here in this first period.
There's a big difference going into the second round down by 2 than there is by 1. So a 1-point escape here for Petrocelli would be really, really helpful. But Ray is putting a lot of pressure on top. I don't think it's going to happen in these final seconds.
Yeah, he's looking to score. He got that arm tied up, that 2-on-1, going to try the elbow tilt.
First period in the books. 2 points for the Frontier High School Titan Cole Reyes so far. Brad?
Looks like we got blood. There's going to be a blood timeout, so we're going to clean up the mat here. Great start by Cole Reyes. Exactly what he had to do. He needs to attack first, get that 2 points up, and then ride out. That was huge. 2 points against a quality guy is big.
Petrocelli's dad, Vince, was a Fresno State baseball player, played for the Bulldogs, great baseball player. Vince has a brother. Gianno has a brother, also a wrestler up in the Clovis area. Cole Reyes also has a dad named Vince, 2 Vinces. I happen to know them both. How crazy is that?
Speaking of knowing people, that referee out there is Rick McKinney. Rick actually wrestled at San Jose State for the late T.J. Kerr, the former head wrestling coach for Cal State Bakersfield. And then Rick McKinney actually moved to Bakersfield for some time, was the coach at Shafter High School, was the coach at North High School. He has since relocated to the Clovis area and has really found his niche as a referee. You'll probably see him at the state finals out there reffing.
Start of the second.
So you got the Clovis kid, Petrocelli. He chose bottom, which is great. While he's still feeling good and strong, he's going to try to pick bottom. He's going to pick bottom, and he's going to try to get that 1 point here. He's desperate. He needs it. Cole's going to do his best to ride him out. But if he gives an escape, it won't be a big deal.
Cole Reyes in the blue, Johnny Petrocelli in the gold. Frontier versus Clovis. First match of the CIF Central Section Championships.
Petruccelli's doing a good job of getting to his feet. It looks like he's going to get an escape here. Good job.
It's a 1-point match. Cole Reyes has clearly shown the ability to get low in on that single, and there he goes again. So as long as he keeps that offense going, it's going to be tough for Petruccelli to stay in there. Cole with a nice single, raising him up.
Under a minute.
Petruccelli, oh.
Reyes is going to reach over and try to grab that far ankle. Once he gets that far ankle, if he can put Petruccelli
This is an interesting situation here. There's a move called the Cooper. If he can pull that knee in toward and hook that leg, he could actually put Reyes on his back and put him in trouble. Dangerous situation. Cole Reyes has to keep that right leg back. He doesn't want that leg to come forward. He could find himself in a heap of trouble.
30 seconds, fellas, in the second.
It's going to be a good stalemate for Petruccelli right there. So now with 27 seconds, he needs to try to get a takedown. Definitely go on the attack.
Here we go. Under 30 here in this second period. Cole Reyes in the blue for Frontier. Petruccelli in the gold for Clovis.
There's that attack, front headlock. Looks like he likes to tie up inside tie, then hit that little outside swing single kind of.
It looks like they're going to be content to go into the third round with Cole Reyes in the lead 2-1. So anybody's match at this point, even though there's only 2 minutes left.
Petruccelli with a 4.0 GPA. He's a freshman, by the way, fellas. You're looking at a freshman here battling out for the Valley Championship. Reyes, a sophomore.
Very typical to see these lighter weights, 116, 113, to be your freshmen and your sophomores, of course. And as they get older, they start to grow. And so as we progress up to the heavier weights, you'll see more juniors and more seniors. But very common to see the young fellas down here.
Last 2 minutes right here, guys.
So a quick escape there by Reyes.
Actually, I think Petruccelli pick bomb just let him. I mean, Reyes just let him back to his feet. So he's planning on scoring 2 takedowns here. He needs 1 takedown. Petruccelli to tie it. Then I guess he plans on cutting him and getting another one.
3-1 the score right now. Reyes at Frontier up 2. A minute and a half left.
So you'll see a lot of guys in the situation that Cole Reyes is in, up by 2, just trying to stay real solid and win by 2. But Cole Reyes in on a shot. Looks like he wants to try and extend his lead and see if he can't get Petruccelli to check out mentally.
Yeah, he definitely needs to hold that elbow. Control that elbow like Reyes is doing. That prevents Petruccelli from circling around back to his feet. He's going to pull that off. Good job by Reyes.
So Petruccelli, he's got to find 2 points somehow to tie it with 1 minute to go. And he's in on a single here. He could score this. He's got to get his legs free. His ankles are tied up there. He's close to scoring 2. He just needs to get that. There it is. There's your 2, and we got a timeout.
We're tied under a minute.
And now he needs to cut him.
So the decision here is, do I try and ride him out and take him into overtime, or do I cut him? Me personally, I'm going to cut the guy and try and get another takedown and win it. But it looks like Petruccelli's going to try and ride him out and take this into overtime and try and get the victory.
Yeah, that's tough.
Reyes, on the other hand, he's got to get out, get that one, try and secure the victory. And he's to his feet now.
Under 30 seconds to go here in this first match.
And there's the stall warning on Petruccelli. That's his first one, so that won't cost him anything. He has to ride him out here. And Reyes, on the other hand, he needs to get 1. He's out. He's nothing yet. The ref has not given the 1 yet. He's got to break free. He's got to lose control and break free.
3 seconds.
And there's the 1. And just like that.
Wait, takedown. Uh-oh.
You know,
that's going to be reviewed.
This is not over.
Hold up for 1 second. This crowd is going crazy. Both sides are clapping. Petruccelli with the win.
Wow.
Darryl Pope.
Hey, Reyes did a nice job to get the escape, but he fell asleep there. And Petruccelli, just like that, struck again, got the takedown. I thought there was going to be some argument by the coaches of whether or not Petruccelli actually got the 2 before the time was out, but there doesn't seem to be any argument out there. So Petruccelli's going to be your Yosemite Division 106-pound champion.
Brad Hull.
Yeah, hey, that's why you wrestle to the end of the whistle.
4 seconds left.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be a little argument by the coaches as well, but to Rick McKinney, the refs, to his side, he made that call, and it's probably the right call. So great job by Petruccelli. That great match.
Well, if that's any indication of what's to come tonight, fellas, we're in for a wonderful night of some exciting high-level wrestling.
How's that for the first match of the evening?
Well, here we go. 113 pounds out there, a sophomore from Buchanan. That's Matthew O'Keen. And from Clovis North, a freshman, Devin Murphy. This is actually a rematch of last week's track championship, the league. This is a rematch where O'Keen won 5-0.
O'Keen in the white, Murphy in the blue.
Yeah, I think O'Keen's defending state champ, and I don't think he's lost his share at all. He's just solid in every position. He was a state champ as a freshman. He's a sophomore now. But Devin Murphy, I believe he's a freshman. I've seen him beat some tough guys. He keeps it close, and kind of like you saw the last match, he can score at the very end to win matches.
Now, on paper, O'Keen obviously favored. He's the defending state champion. But on the other hand, Devin Murphy, he's ranked 4th in the state of California. So that's why they wrestle the match, fellas.
Murphy's goal is to get to Penn State. O'Keen's goal to be a 4-time state champion and NCAA champion.
Yeah, O'Keen's on track.
Murphy in the blue is a freshman. O'Keen in the white, sophomore.
Nice ankle.
Under a minute to go in this first period.
2 takedown. It was nice by O'Keen. A little heavy on the head, then reached down and grabbed that ankle pick and kind of set him to his butt, and then ended up circling and scoring the 2 points.
Buchanan up 2-0.
He got that chicken wing tied up. It's going to be hard for Murphy to get off his stomach here.
Yeah, the best time to get an escape is right when you get taken down. But the thing you don't want to do is get taken down, take a little time there and pause and end up on your belly, because that takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to get off your belly and try and get an escape. So best time to get out is right when you surprise your opponent. He takes you down, he lets up a little bit, you just pop right up and get out. That's the best time.
Or like Coach Pope would tell me, don't get taken down at all.
Don't get taken down at all.
Hey, the best escape is don't get taken down. I like that.
At the end of the first period, Brad Hull.
Yeah, that's solid round by O'Keen. It's going to be his choice. He's not going to defer. He's going to go down, try to extend that lead, try to get 3-0, and then he's going to do his feet, and he's going to try to get another takedown, try to get to 5-0.
Don't forget all of this on our Twitter handle, at KHSD Athletics. Hope you're enjoying all of this here on kernhigh.org.
Get used to watching that white singlet out there from Buchanan. They have 8 individuals in the finals tonight. They are out in first place right now. They're the defending state team champions, and they're coached by Troy Terapelli. That's no stranger to the sport of wrestling. Troy Terapelli himself was a 3-time California high school state champion and a 4-year starter for the Illinois University wrestling program.
There's that one escape by O'Keen.
O'Keen gets 1 on the escape with 1.5 to go in the second period, 3-0.
So what he needs to do is get right back on the attack, look to get that heavy on the head, and then reach down for the ankle again is probably what you're going to see him do. He got that inside tie, and then he's going to get on those ankles.
Murphy, on the other hand, he's not the favorite wrestler. He got beat last week, and so I'm thinking, hey, I've got nothing to lose. So you'd like to see him take some risk and try and score on the defending state champ. You've got nothing to lose. So
113-pound division.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want to do. This bottom line is you're trying to qualify the next week, so you can take some risks today, and you're familiar with your opponent. So once you change some things up or try some different leg attacks and see if they work, you need every little bit of homework you can get from these matches, because you will see him again either next week or at the state tournament.
Yeah, it's really a matter of you'd like to be the champion, so of course you're trying to win, and then also the higher placed wrestlers are going to get a higher seed, probably a little bit better place in the bracket next year, next week. And set them up for success next week. So,
half a minute to go here in the second period. O'Keen first at Doc Buchanan, first at the 2016 CIF State Championship. A lot of firsts on his resume.
A lot of wins, no losses. That says a lot to week in, week out, grind and wrestle some of the toughest tournaments and be a champ every week.
30-0 for Matthew O'Keen. Devin Murphy, 23-3. We're under 10 seconds to go here in the second period. We'll go to the third. Darryl Pope.
Oking's going to take a 3-0 lead into the third. Of course, last week he won 5-0. And, you know, if I'm thinking, and this is the coach in me coming out, each time you wrestle an opponent, you want to beat him by more. I want to mentally break him. So I'm thinking if I won 5-0 last week, this week I'm going to win by 6-8, 9-10, or tech him or pin him. And so you'd like to see Oking crank it up here and see if he can't get widen that margin of victory a little bit. Of course, on the other hand, if I'm Devin Murphy, I'm the young guy, nothing to lose. I'm going to get out and try and get a takedown, tie this thing up.
Here we go, third period. What do you see early, Brad?
You know, Devin Murphy's to his feet, which is doing a great job. I can see Oging could maybe want to let him go if he wants to, but you're taking a risk because then you're within scoring, you know, it could be 3-3. So I think you're going to see Oging ride him as tough as he can, try to tie up a 2-on-1 or chicken wing and flatten him out and try to, you know, ride out this win for Oging.
Third period in our second match, 113-pound.
That's where you want him, right there on his stomach. Oging was able to break him down, countered some of his offense from the bottom, and now he got some right where he wants to be, flattened out. It's going to be hard to get up for Murphy.
Matthew Oging looking to go 31-0 this Saturday afternoon here in Bakersfield.
Nice roll. Nice little Granby roll by Murphy. Now it's a match.
3-1, Murphy with the escape.
That was a very impressive Granby roll for one, and so actually, you know, he's right in it with the defending state champ here. A takedown ties this thing up, and I imagine we'd get this crowd pretty excited, too, to see the young guy be able to score a takedown on the defending champion. He's getting real physical on that head. I like to see that. That's what opens guys up. You start banging on their head, they start raising up, and then you can get in on a leg shot.
Under a minute.
Like I said, he's no stranger to these close wins at the end. Murphy, he's done it before at Doc B. I saw him, made the crowd go crazy, and he tied it up, and then I believe he got taken down overtime. So this might be familiar for Murphy.
It's got to happen soon, 36 seconds.
So many times you get inside 30 seconds like this and kids wait till the last 10, 15 seconds. You want to get a takedown to tie it or win it, you got to start about 45 seconds, 30 seconds. You really got to start opening that man up. If you wait till the last 10 seconds or so, anybody can just about hang on and stalemate you at that point.
Which is what Oging's trying to do at this moment. 15 seconds and counting. Here it is. Last shot for Devin Murphy in the blue.
Bring out your best takedown. Here it is. Got to get, see, Oging's doing a great job of controlling that wrist. That shuts down all Murphy's offense right there. He's going to control that 2-on-1 wrist and not give him a chance to score. Very smart by Oging.
And they're going to say that's it. Devin Murphy is your Valley champion. Matthew Oging is your Valley champion. He goes to 31-0 over Devin Murphy. I do want to say that our student athletes here at the CIF enjoy the opportunity to participate in CIF championships thanks in large part to the generosity of our family of CIF corporate partners. Please remember to support our corporate partners in membership of their support of our student athletes. First and foremost, we will start with Maxpreps. I live on Maxpreps with two volleyball daughters playing here locally. Maxpreps is the proud sponsor and official photographer of the Californian Interscholastic Federation. You can view and purchase high-quality action photos from today's events by visiting maxpreps.com. Pope.
Matthew Oging becomes the first champion for Buchanan of the night, and now at 120 pounds, Ethan Leake from Buchanan is going to try and be the second. He's the junior from Buchanan. He's taking on Wyatt Nielsen from Clovis, a senior.
There's a scramble
and
for you.
They're already out there rolling and twisting and getting after it. No points yet.
Yeah, who has who right there?
But Ethan Leake is trying to come out on top, but Wyatt Nielsen is not giving up easy, and there's a takedown by Ethan Leake.
And fellas, to our viewers out there, Leake is in the white with the red right there on top. That's Buchanan. Leake there on the top, and Cornelison is in Clovis, and he's underneath there to your right in the light gray and blue singlet.
We talked last match about Buchanan being coached by Troy Terapelli, a three-time California high school state champ, a wrestler for the University of Illinois. Out here for Clovis now is, from Clovis there, is Wyatt Nielsen. His coach is the brother of Troy Terrapelli. It's the brother is Adam Terrapelli. Adam, of course, no stranger to the sport of wrestling. He was a 3-time California high school state champ, wrestled for the University of Illinois, where he was a 3-time Division I All-American and a national champion in 2001. He's actually in his 13th year as the head coach, and they have won 6 California high school state titles during his tenure.
I believe this year they're ranked number 1 in the country as well, number 1 in the nation. Buchanan is, and Clovis ranks 2 or 3 in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Early goings here, first period. It is a 2-0 lead for Ethan Leak in Buchanan. He's on top with that big B right there. On the bottom, Wyatt Corneliuson.
So you have a couple of competitions going on out there. You've got Leak taking on Cornelsen, and you've got Troy Terrapelli taking on his brother Adam Terrapelli. And Dad is Dad still the head coach for Clovis University? Steve Terrapelli?
That's correct. Yeah, Steve Terrapelli is the head coach at Clovis. Yep.
Where do you think who's he rooting for? Is he rooting for Adam or Troy, or is he loyal
for a win?
He stays true to Clovis. To be honest, I think you see him around. I'm sure it doesn't hurt him a little bit when his son has success, but he's a Clovis guy through and through.
All right, at the end of the first here, a lot of family ties wrapped up in this match between Leak and Cornelison, and it's Buchanan versus Clovis, 2 Northern Valley opponents here. What do you think of the first one, Brad?
It's a solid match. Leak's a solid wrestler. He comes from a long history of wrestling. I believe his dad was a state champ back in the 90s, Yogi Leak, out of Brentwood, Liberty maybe, I'm not sure. But he's probably been, from the time he could walk, he's probably been wrestling this mat. He's been wrestling. You're going to see him probably most likely control the hands, get to his feet, get an escape, and get right back on the offense again.
Cornelison now looking to be more assertive, more aggressive. He's on top.
Cornelison's doing a great job of riding. He's keeping a lot of pressure forward. He's looking for that cradle. So Leak got to be careful when he stands up, not to keep that head and that knee too close to each other.
Ethan Leak, 35-0. Cornelison, 31-11.
And there's the escape by Leak. Extends his lead 3-0 over Cornelison of Clovis. Little attempted throw by, but Cornelison does a nice job, drops in on a single leg. Needs to raise that up, keep that hip down and raise that single.
Step over and hook that ankle. There you go. Hook that ankle, get underneath the arms, try to raise your hips.
Yeah, Leak needs to, they're going to call a stalemate there. That's
under a minute to go here in this first period. 3-0, Buchanan over Clovis at this moment. Leak over Cornelison.
Leak's going to get right back on the offense. It looks like he loves that front head. There's head in the hole. It's going to be hard to defend.
Nice head in the hole. Gets the angle, goes around behind Leak with 2-point takedown.
Right
Extends his lead. He's 5-0.
We see the Yosemite divisional rankings up there. Buchanan, Clovis, Clovis North, Frontier, Bakersfield, Hanford, Madera, Lemoore, Clovis West, and Madera South, your top 10. As we're under 30 seconds here in this first match. 5-0 now, Ethan Leak.
And there you see, sitting in fourth place is Frontier Titans from Bakersfield, ahead of Bakersfield High School. That's the first time since the implementation of Frontier's program that they've ever placed ahead of Bakersfield High School. So this is a big deal if they can hold on to that lead. Of course, the head coach there, Kirk Moore, Foothill graduate, undefeated high school state champion. He's done a phenomenal job at Titan. For the Titan Wrestling program.
All right, Darryl, we're going to go into the Brad, going into the second period here of this 120-pound. Well, this is the third, into the third, Darryl, it's yours.
Looks like Ethan Leak is going to take bottom there, and he is currently ahead 5-0. So, again, if I'm Leak, I'm thinking, I want to break my opponent. I want him to lose confidence in any faith that he has that he can beat me. So I'm going to get an escape. I'm going to get a takedown, extend that lead 8-0, and then just keep going from there. I'm not going to hang on by 5 and let him think he can hang around and maybe beat me.
Yeah, I'm watching out for that cradle and getting to my feet just like he did. Now he wants to break that tie and get right back to his offense.
And there's the escape by Leak, 6-0 with a quick spin around behind. Now he's up 8-0.
Boy,
just
he's
like
impressive.
I said.
Impressive young man. Number 1 in the state, 10th in the nation.
He's really going to that cross-face cradle. Looks like he's going to try to take that elbow. Now he got that elbow. Wait for him to try to stand up and try to get that cradle locked up.
I like it. One of his future goals, fellas, is to wrestle in college. Yes, I think he's got that goal covered.
Of course, he's the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state. He's 2 weeks away from achieving his goal.
as a young sophomore, he's going to have colleges pounding down on his door trying to get him to attend
With a
their
minute
university.
left in the third here, Brad, boy, to the optics here, it looks like he's very much in control.
Yeah, he's just dominant in every position. Cornelison did a great job of attacking. He was trying to attack, but Leak is just too good with his offense and his defense. He just got a nice spin behind. He has good hip pressure here. He's going to control this match.
Whoa, out of bounds there. Some good action
there.
Yeah,
there was.
Cornelison, he's down by 8, but he's still out there scrapping. You got to respect that. That's what you like to see from your kid. Just no matter what the score is, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming.
42 seconds remain here in this final period. Ethan Leak, the Buchanan junior, weighed in at 122. 8-0 lead right now over
and
Wyatt.
he's got him in trouble.
Oh, Cornelison.
Leak still in control, but that was a close one.
He didn't even want to give up one. He said, forget it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to cut your losses and give that one to keep from getting caught on your back there. That was a close one, but it worked out in his favor, and he's still ahead 8-0.
And to your point, Cornelison not quitting. 10 seconds, just under 10. 8-0. Ethan Leak with a big lead here to become Valley champion as a junior and go to 36-0.
Yeah, that was some good wrestling right there by Cornelison. He got some information there. He knows that Leak likes to come with the legs. He was able to catch the leg coming in, and he's almost able to put him on his back, look for a reversal. So when they meet up again.
He's got that cradle locked up and on his back and building the final seconds and still working for more. That's why he's going to do well.
I want to thank the California Correctional Peace Officers Association, CCPOA. It's a CIF statewide contributing partner. The CCPOA with 30,000 members and their families supporting a brighter today and tomorrow for California's student athletes. So, Brad, your final thoughts on Ethan Leak going to 36-0?
Yeah, he's dominant. I mean, you can see he's a little bit upset by his performance because he kind of almost gave up a point there, but he didn't. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed. He's a Valley champ, but that's the intensity or the level he's at. He's believing he's going to dominate everybody. And
Pope, what do you have?
We've got another Clovis and Buchanan matchup, and what a treat we have here, folks. We're watching a wrestler who could possibly be 2 weeks away from history. There's only one wrestler in the state of California who has ever won 4 individual state titles, and that's Daryl Vasquez from Bakersfield High School. The individual we're watching out there from Clovis is Justin Mejia from Clovis. He's a senior. He's won the California State High School Championships 3 times, and he's going for his 4th title this year. If he can cap it off, he'll be the second man in history to accomplish such a feat, and he's been dominant all year long.
Brad, he's going up against Tyler Dean, who's 33-9, and he's from Buchanan in the white.
Yeah,
weighed in at 126.
I believe Tyler, I think he transferred in from New Mexico. I think he came out of state and he joined the Buchanan team this year, his first year, but he's dominant. I think they had a match earlier in the year where it was 4-3, Mejia won, but he's very good on his feet as well. But Mejia is just a different level wrestler.
Justin Mejia, he has all the tools, Vance. He's quick, he's strong, he's technical, he's mentally tough, he likes to compete. And he's going to do some great things in college. He's not done yet. He's going to the University of Illinois, where his coach, Adam Terapelli, wrestled, and his uncle Troy Terapelli wrestled, and his other uncle, Alex Terapelli, wrestled, who's the head coach at the University of Penn.
Yeah, there's a nice little pipeline that goes from Clovis to Illinois.
Stoppage in the action here, Brad.
Yeah, it looked like Mejia might tweaked his knee as he came out bounds, so everybody's a little bit concerned, but they're just getting set again.
4-1. For those of you listening in and watching in, you're hearing some applause over to our right. It's probably being picked up on our ambient microphone, the Clovis contingent just to our right. So you're going to hear that a lot tonight. Justin Mejia.
You know, I can't help but think of this story several years ago. Alex Cisneros from Selma had 3 California High School State Championships. He was going for his 4th. He made it to the state finals. He was ahead by 3 with 15 seconds left in the match, and he would have been the second person in history to win his 4th title and join Daryl Vasquez. With 15 seconds to left, Nico Villarreal from Gilroy throws him to his back, 2 takedown, 2 near fall. The match ends, and Alex Cisneros was stripped of his 4th title. So, fellas, you know, as much as I like to say that Mejia here is dominant, he's going to get his 4th title, you just never know.
Yeah, it's hard to wrestle when you got that target on your back. Every single match, people are gunning for you.
Two very salient points. You never know. You never know. And everybody's gunning for you. Everybody's gunning for you. Half a minute left here in this first period. Mejia in the gold, Dean in the white. Clovis versus Buchanan. Clovis on top in points and to the eyes right there.
What people don't understand is, you know, it's incredible to win a state championship, but it's always more difficult to win it the second time. And guess what? It's even harder to win 3, and almost impossible, as we've seen, only one in the history ever do it, to win 4.
Oh, you're so right.
So we're looking at a very special young man out there for Clovis.
Here's the end of the first period, and it is going to finish 4-1 with Justin Mejia. Your thoughts on period 1?
Yeah, it was dominant performance by round 1 by Mejia. He kind of took out the factor of maybe keeping it a close match. If he can extend this, if it's his choice, I would see him probably picking bottom to extend that lead. Instead of a 3-point lead, get that 4-point lead. Try to extend on that. And he did pick down, so we'll see what he does.
Here we go, period 2. You're looking at what Darryl says could be 4-time California state champion, and he picks up his 5th point right there with a very quick escape. Butt heads.
He is going to control that wrist, yep, and circle out to a fresh start.
Brad, if you're Taylor Dean, what's the MO right now with, you know, less than 2 full periods left?
You need to try to get on your feet. You can go work some ties, and you need to create angles. But as you can see, this match, Mejia's coming after him. So maybe you want to play possum a little bit. Let Mejia feel that he can come after you and try to score off of his offensive attacks.
They bumped heads about 15, 20 seconds ago. You heard me say it, and it may have been more significant than we thought. Mejia's coming over to take a look, but Dean being attended to by, you know, the sports medicine team over there from Central Section, and they're taking a good look at it. I know you've talked about this before, even last week, fellas. You kind of gave me the lay of the land when it comes to injuries. What do you think here as far as protocol?
Well, for a blood timeout, you're allotted 5 minutes for blood time. So regular injury timeout, you get 1.5 minutes. But when there's blood involved, the blood timeout is a 5-minute period. And for some reason, it's rare that you see someone not be able to wrestle. I've seen trainers tape up entire foreheads, you know, or around their nose just to get them out there, because you're not going to lose a match by blood.
This gives me a quick opportunity to thank our big sponsor, Les Schwab Tires. At Les Schwab, we take pride in doing the right thing in our communities. It's why we are the title sponsor of the Central Section Championships. It allows us the opportunity to support our great young people in the communities we serve. Les Schwab Tires and the CIF, dedicated to supporting today's youth to help make a better tomorrow. And we certainly are very appreciative of everyone that's been involved in making this happen. We're so happy to be here on KernHigh.org, tweeting at KHSD Athletics. Last week we did it locally in Bakersfield for the SWIL League Finals, and our viewership was escalating incrementally by the 15-minute mark. My personal phone was blowing up saying, oh my gosh, we're loving this. And Darryl Pope and Brad Hull made it happen. Kevin Willey on the camera, as always, since day one, and our director, Kyle Wiley, down to the far left, tweeting all of the key moments on at KHSSD Athletics. Here we go. We're back in at 1:42 in the second period between Mejia in the gold, Dean in the white.
I've never really been a big fan of blood timeouts in wrestling. In some ways, I wish we were like the MMA and we just kept going, because as an athlete, I always wanted to break my opponent physically, get him tired. And these blood timeouts give them a chance to catch their breath. And so not a big fan of blood timeouts. Certainly understand, though, the reason you have to stop, pause, and clean it up with all the safety issues surrounding.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of wrestling in the blood, so I guess we differ on that kind of little bit. Yeah, I'm all for the timeout, especially if it's someone else's blood, you know. But, you know, Clovis really needs this to put a stamp. They've had such a dominant program the last 5-6 years with repeated state championship teams. They need that 4-time state champion to be at the level of a BHS, to surpass a BHS or something. So they're putting a lot of weight on Mejia becoming the next 4-time California state champ.
7-1. Big lead right now for Justin Mejia.
California has had a number of 3-time state champions. Of course, only one 4-time state champion. And what's always interesting to me is as they go to college, and I'm thinking of Mejia here, he's going to wrestle for the University of Illinois. Some of those 3-time champs have gone on and have become 3-time All-Americans and national champs in college. And a number, though, of the 3-time champs have gone on and have never attained All-American status or national championship status. So you just wonder what's in store for Mejia in college. And I like to think at a program like University of Illinois, he's going to be doing you're going to read more about this kid.
How much weight will he gain from his senior year now? Let's say to 2 years. Let's jump forward 2 years to his sophomore year. Right now he's at 126.
Well, I'm thinking his build looks a whole lot like Brad Hull's. And Brad Hull, you wrestled how much in high school and what in college? I think he's going to be just like Brad Hull.
Yeah, 125 I wrestled in high school and 133 in college. So you're probably going to see the weight class in college is going to be 125 or probably 133. But with that maturity process, when Mejia gets out to college, he's going to put on at least 5 or 10 pounds of muscle. So you're probably going to see him as a projected 133-pounder.
Wow.
It really depends on a lot of other things, though, like genetics and the frame that they have. The guy that comes to mind, though, is Stephen Neal, that we recruited and wrestled at Cal State University at Bakersfield. He took 4th in the state of California as a senior at 189 pounds. He won 4 All-American titles, 2 national titles, and he finished weighing about 260 pounds. But, of course, he had the frame to do it,
right.
6'4". Dad played basketball at the University of Maryland. So I don't see that kind of a frame on Mejia, but he is going to get a little thicker.
What do you see here, Brad?
You know, Mejia's just dominant. You can see he's on a mission just to control every situation. He's controlling Dean to the last 30 seconds here, and he's still trying to score. So he's looking good.
The right leg of Dean, the target right now for sure.
He basically took Dean out of the match with his offense. I mean, no knock on Dean. Dean's a great wrestler, but Mejia was nonstop pursuing him and looking to score the whole time.
Usually when you're on bottom, you're thinking get out and get an escape. But with that kind of pressure on that leg right there from Mejia, Dean was probably more thinking, I just want to breathe.
Yeah, it doesn't help with that tape across his nose.
Yeah,
either.
interesting. I just saw that right there too, Brad. Justin Mejia looked up at Tyler Dean for a second right there. Take a look at him and looked at his face. He can see the blood. You can see the blood, but Tyler's not quitting, as Daryl said. And 5 seconds to go here in this second period here at the 126 weight. And at the end of 2, Daryl Pope, your thoughts?
Well, it's pretty much gone the way we thought it would go, and that's a very controlled match by Mejia, very methodical. But I'm thinking Mejia being the champion mindset that he has, he's hoping to open this thing up and go big here. And I'm sure he'd like to tech him or get a pin here. But Dean, he's a competitor. He's not going to just lay down and let that happen.
Dean's doing a good job. He's getting to his feet. There's no stop to him. Mejia's doing a good job of riding, though. He's tying those arms up, tripping, popping the hips in. He looks like he's going to try to ride him out for this round. It would be interesting. Maybe he can cut him and try to open it up and get the major, because it's only a 6-point gap right now.
Great point. 7-1.
There it is. He's going to need 2, though. 2 takedowns.
Now 7-2. Dean with a point.
He's going back on offense, so here he comes.
Quiet, tense crowd. So far, it's all been represented by the North Valley. No local wrestlers yet, but it's coming soon. Minute and a half here in the final period. 7-2 in favor of Justin Mejia, the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state.
Very difficult mindset for a guy like Mejia, too. He's won 3 titles. He's going for his 4th. He's kind of looking at this as just, doing the laundry. Just some chores. Got to take care of business. I think in a couple of weeks at the Rabobank Arena State Championships, you're going to see a guy on fire when he goes for that 4th title. You're going to see a little bit more oomph in his walk, in his step. He's out there just doing his chores right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder when you're in the state tournament because you got more pressure. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to get caught, and that's the thing about wrestling. You could be winning by 14 points and get caught any time. So I think he's out here having a good time today. I'd be interested to see how he wrestles at what level of intensity at the state tournament.
Mejia keeps looking at Dean's face after every whistle like, hey, we still want to keep going here? You still want to keep going? They take another break here with 37 seconds left. I wonder if that's it. Or they're going to finish it.
No, they're going to retape it.
Yeah, okay. Mejia kept looking over at Dean's face. Every whistle, he would take a quick look at it like, hey, dude.
Yeah. Like, tell the rest when you guys going to stop this? All that blood's coming through. See, I told you he's like me. He doesn't want to wrestle in the blood. That's what I'm saying.
So I have Brad Hull, the Menachie High School star, Foothill High School coach, athletic director, dean of students, Pac-10 championship teams for a couple of years, the Roadrunners. He doesn't want the blood in there. Daryl Pope, our Hall of Fame, California Wrestling Hall of Fame, Division I Assistant Coach of the Year, 3-time Division I All-American, 2-time Division II National Champion, State Champion. He wants blood. He wants momentum. He doesn't want to stop.
I think we should follow the lead of the UFC and just let him go. Be a lot more exciting. UFC's popular with that, and I think we could make wrestling a lot more popular as well. But
us basketball players, we saw some blood. Stop.
Ooh, nice
stop. Hey, look at this.
Yep.
Nice job by Tyler Dean.
A takedown. Listen to the Buchanan crowd.
He's going to cut him. He's not content. He's still going for more, but Mejia's going to do quick. Tyler Dean. I like what I'm seeing out of Dean.
5 seconds
just
left.
A sophomore, and he's given no respect to the 3-time champ.
Oh, nice match at the end. Pretty quiet for a while.
You hear the crowd responding. Mejia gave a little shove there and a gesture to the crowd, and the Buchanan folks aren't taking a liking to that. They don't like the attitude being displayed there by Mejia.
Well, he put on a good match. I mean, 10-4. He's probably happy with himself. Coming from this last time they wrestled 5-4 to 10-4 win. That's a solid win for Mejia.
3-time state champion on his way to his 4th. Had a little bit to say. All right. You're watching all of this on kernhigh.org. Darryl, who's up next, buddy?
Well, we've got a good little matchup here. Gary Joint from Lemoore. That's a team we haven't heard from tonight. He's a senior, and he's going to take on Chris DeLogia from Clovis North, a couple of seniors here. Interesting thing, not only are they both seniors, not only are they both in the finals wrestling each other tonight, but they're both going to wrestle for Fresno State University, program that has had dropped and it's been reinstated now, and they've hired Troy Steiner, national champion for the University of Iowa, to coach the Bulldogs. And so these boys here, I got a feeling they're going to be slugging it out a whole lot more every day in practice next year.
Are we going to lose you to Fresno State? Are you going to go up there? Are they going to call you and say, DP, let's go? Am I breaking news? Is this breaking news right now,
no,
Brad?
It's not going to happen.
Not
Poper. No,
wrestling
sorry.
is a young man's game, and so they've got a good young coach there, good young coaching staff at Troy Terrapelli. The old guys get behind the mic.
There you go.
Just talk nonsense.
Well, now you're talking my game. Here we go. Nice little match here in the 132 weight.
So Joint came to Lemoore about 2 years ago, I believe. Lemoore has the naval base there. So Joint is originally from Kansas, I believe. Johnny McQuarrie, Kansas kid there. But Joint transferred. His dad went to the Naval Academy, the naval base there in Lemoore, and he came over. And Lemoore inherited a great wrestler, Gary Joint, who's just ranked #1 in the state and just doing great things for Lemoore High School.
And you're speaking of the wrestler in the gold singlet.
Correct.
Chris DeLoza from Clovis North is in the blue. So Gary Joint in the gold, Chris DeLoza in the blue.
DeLozia's been around forever. I remember when he was a freshman, he was a starter. He might have been a state qualifier. He can really wrestle good. He had a very close win over Elijah Ozuna from Frontier that we saw last week. So when those two battle, it's a great match. So this could be a good match of a lot of action, I think.
Excuse me, I'll get it out here.
DeLoza.
Chris DeLogia is in on a single leg. If he can get that thing up to his shoulder, he might be able to finish it. But Gary Joint providing some good resistance. Joint there from Lemoore, the #1 ranked wrestler in the state, and DeLogia is ranked 4th. So we've got 1 and 4 out there right now. And although DeLogia can get in on that single, Joint's not going down easy. And ladies and gentlemen, right there to my right,
look at this.
They're responding to 2 takedown there from DeLogia. But I was distracted because to my right, folks, and you're not going to believe this, folks, but we were talking about Justin Mejia winning 3 state titles, possibly going for his 4th, and we're talking about the only man in history to ever do that is Darryl Vasquez for the Bakersfield Driller High Schools, and he just showed up. He's at the right side here. Darryl Vasquez, the only 4-time California high school state champ. You just saw Justin Mejia out there with 3 titles.
Yeah.
Other people have won 3
He's
titles.
Looking good, yeah.
What do you think, Justin Mejia? Is he going to join you or not?
I don't
What's
know.
the call?
We'll see. Still 2 weeks left, and state tournament is toughest tournament, toughest state. To win 4 titles is unheard of in California. So yeah, I think he can do it. Anybody can do it, really. He looks like he trains hard. He's a good kid, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Tell me, what's he thinking right now? I got 3 titles. I'm going for my 4th. Take us back a few years. What's he thinking?
It's not going to hit him until he's in that semis and that final meet. That's when it kind of all sinks in, where everything's kind of on the line. I think it was for my 3rd. I think that was obviously the most intense for me.
So are you going to be there? And if he does win his 4th title, have you been contacted?
No.
Have they contacted you and say, hey, if this guy wins his 4th title, will you go out there and shake his hand and welcome him to the club?
Are you going to
be up at the top?
I would shake his hand. I'll proudly welcome him in. To be only one of to be two 4-time state champions would be great to kind of be able to welcome into that club. But
well, we've got a great match out here right now going with Gary Joint and Chris DeLogia. But Darryl Vasquez, the only 4-time California high school state champion in the history of the sport.
For right now.
And we want to thank you for stopping by, saying hello to the folks.
Always.
What a pleasure. Hey, I feel like I'm
missing some great wrestling right here.
I feel we've been
Luckily
blessed.
You guys are streaming it right now.
We've been blessed with greatness, ladies and gentlemen. Darryl Vasquez, the 4-time California high school state champ.
Appreciate you coming up here.
Thank you for coming by and stopping by.
Excellent, Darryl.
What
Thank
a treat
you, bro.
that was. What a treat.
Yeah.
90 seconds left in this second period, Brad.
Yeah, you're seeing great wrestling.
I hear a lot of noise.
DeLogia keeps getting to his feet, and there he is. He's out. And Joint was just doing a great job of keeping him down. But DeLogia got that first takedown. So you're going to see Gary Joint's going to have to go on the attack here.
So DeLogia out in front, 3-1.
Yeah, if you're DeLogia, you're looking to attack again. He's going forward. He's doing good.
So a minute left in this second period. A nice match going on right here. Thanks, Darryl, for bringing our man up here, 4-time state champ. 60 seconds left in this second round here, and we are in the 132-pound weight class.
Caution, false start on DeLogia.
Nice by DeLogia. Nice throw by to a shot.
On a nice single, and they're going to give him a takedown. 2 takedown, DeLogia, and he's extended his lead 5-1. So the 4th-ranked wrestler in the state taking it to the top-ranked wrestler in the state right here.
Fast and strong, fellas. Fast and strong.
Yeah, Joint's going to be okay. If he can get one in this period at 51 seconds, he needs to get one. It's going to be his choice 3rd period. He can pick down again, get another one. Then it's going to come down to that takedown. DeLogia just needs to keep the pressure on. Exactly what he's doing. Just keep on moving forward.
DeLogia riding tough, but Gary Joint, on the other hand, popping up. Typically, if a guy keeps popping up about the 2nd, 3rd time, the guy on top's just going to let him go and say, hey, let's just go on our feet. So we'll see if Joint keeps coming up to his feet. He's having a hard time getting to his feet now. DeLogia with lots of pressure on top.
He got that arm tied up. Here you go. Joint's going to get his head up. He's going to stand up on one leg. Tripod, fight the hands.
DeLogia working that claw and pressure forward. And
30 seconds left, guys, here in the second.
He's out.
And there's your escape by Joint. It's a 5-2 match.
DeLogia needs to get one good takedown right here to really put him back where he needs to be. And Joint can either kind of coast a little bit, stay in position, or look to score as well.
10 seconds remains here in the second period. 5-2 right now. Chris DeLogia over Gary Joint.
Oh, head in the hole.
Lots of action out there. Tries an inside trip to no avail. Time runs out.
We will go into the 3rd here. Nice match. 5-2. Chris DeLogia, Clovis North with a scant 3-point lead right now, and on the bottom.
This is not over yet. Joint's taken down. If he gets an escape and a takedown, we're tied up.
Yeah, this is an all-out sprint right here. These guys are just going nonstop scrambling.
And there's your escape.
Nice, both of them.
But DeLogia quickly in on a shot, but they go out of bounds.
Explain to our viewers, identify to our viewers what is specifically out of bounds.
Oh, would you like to do that?
You're looking for 3 supporting points, actually. So each wrestler has a supporting point. So if my right leg and my left leg are out of bounds, there's two supporting points. Then if one of your legs steps out, there's 3 supporting points. They're going to blow the whistle.
Got it.
Or sometimes they'll stop it. If I have one supporting point out and you have one supporting, they may
nice throw by.
Out of bounds there. Oof. Nice. We've got a tie match.
All tied up.
Look at this.
Takedown by Joint.
Cut him.
Gary Joint from Lemoore High School in the gold.
Just like I said, a takedown, or excuse me, an escape and a takedown, and we're all tied up with 1:30. Lots of time left on the clock. Talking about the out-of-bounds rule, I wish they'd go to the college rule, and that is as long as there's a fingernail inside the mat, they're still wrestling. They don't stop it till everything's off the mat. I like that rule. I wish high school would go to it.
A buck 20 in the third, Daryl.
And Joint's on top. He wants to ride him out.
Oh.
He's trying. No.
Brad Hull.
Yeah,
they're flopping all over the place.
He and
there's a reversal by Delosha. One escape Joint. It's a 1-point match. This is fun.
Yeah. Delosha needs to go on the attack. Joint's a little tired right here. But he's fine. He just needs to set up one, get a takedown right out.
7-6 right now.
Delosha,
under a minute to go, guys.
Delosha can't shut it down now. Yep, go to the center, set up, get your throw by or something like that. There you go, nice.
Delosha, nice swing single, getting behind with the ankle, looking for a limp arm there. Joint's tough on his feet. He's tough to take down.
He's going to work to a stalemate with those hips. Delosha got the circle to that leg. Shelf it, lift it, pinch it, reach for the other leg. He got it. That's it.
Half a minute.
Takedown by Delosha. Extends his lead. Delosha with a 3-point lead.
Grab those ankles. Yeah, don't. Joint can still tie that. He can get one escape, 2 takedown, but Delosha's doing a great job riding. He's going to cut him.
And there's the escape by Joint. If he can get a quick takedown, 10 seconds.
He's got to get back in there, under 10.
There it is.
Delosha's going to take a 2-point victory. The number 4 ranked wrestler in the state knocks off the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state. What a great match. Listen to those crowd. They liked it as well.
Yeah, that was an all-out sprint, like I said. That was non-stop wrestling for 6 minutes.
What a match.
That's exactly what you have to do if you want to be a state champ. Exactly what Delosha did. You got to put your best wrestling forward for 6 solid minutes. And as you see, Joint, he looks a little tired right now, but very talented wrestler, Joint, and expect big things from him the next week or 2.
I was very impressed as well with Delosha. On the other hand, a guy like Joint, that'll fire him up. So you may see a different story next week or certainly 2 weeks at the state meet. But great match for wrestling.
And when you mix in Isaiah Osuna from Frontier, another dynamic wrestler, that makes for some good wrestling at that weight class.
Of course, Osuna was knocked off in the semifinals, but he'll have some more to say next week. Hey, it's 138 pounds from Mission Oak, a senior. He's on his way to Michigan State. That's Jaden Enriquez. And a junior out of Buchanan, Brett Villarreal.
Yeah, Brett had a great Doc B finals. He must have won by 10 or 12. He was going out there just making stuff happen, and he had a dominant performance at the Doc B tournament, which is arguably one of the toughest tournaments in the nation. But tonight he's up against Jaden Enriquez, who's just an unbelievable Greco wrestler. He's been running through this bracket, so he's a tough guy to beat.
35-1 is Jaden Enriquez in the purple out of Mission Oak. 31-2 is Villarreal in the red and white. So you have 1 and 2 going at it here.
Villarreal dropped his hip, shot in on a nice double, but Jaden with some good movement, covering that head and defending it well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a kind of a clash of styles here, where Villarreal likes to score a lot. I think Enriquez likes to be more methodical. He likes to keep the matches close and control every position. He likes to win by 2, 3, 4 points.
And you can see Enriquez forcing that 2-on-1, that rushing 2-on-1, attacking the upper body, that Greco influence that you talked about, Bradley. And there it is again.
Yep, you got to be careful.
Coming in with those overhooks, jacking him up, looking to throw him to his back.
Yeah, he's a national champ in Greco.
The thing is, Villarreal knows he wants that upper body, but it's not always that easy to stay out of it.
And what Enriquez does a good job is he has no problem backing up a little bit to the edge of this match, and then the edge of the ring right there. And then what he does is he waits for you to attack, and he tries to hit you with a throw, or he'll try to circle and score on you. So if you get in on him, you're going out of bounds. It's smart wrestling.
Under 30 seconds here to go in this first round. First period, I should say.
Enriquez has committed to Michigan State. Of course, Michigan State, a member of the Big Ten, one of the toughest wrestling conferences in the United States of America.
Well, look at this, fellas. 0-0 up the first, Brad.
Yeah, this is playing right into what Jaden likes to do. He loves to keep these matches manageable, keep them close. I wouldn't be surprised if you let if Valerio gets his feet and Jaden maybe cuts him. He's going to go right back on his offense with that, upper body 2-on-1 Russian tie or inside trip or a throw.
Valerio quickly gets to his feet, one escape.
Valerio got to get on his offense because this match is going the way Jaden wants it to go.
Exactly.
He's keeping it controlling, and this is playing right into what he loves to do. This is normal for him.
Absolutely, Brad. He is imposing his will. That is Jaden imposing his will on Brett Valerio. Nice little headlock. Nothing yet.
Nope.
Close. And the referee, Rick McKinney, says no, nothing. But that was close. And how ironic is that Brett Valerio throws the headlock on Jaden Enriquez.
It's hard to throw a thrower, you know what I mean? But that was a little scare right there. But I wouldn't be surprised you see Jaden get back on his offense now. He knows he needs to score now.
That reminds me of the old stories Coach T.J. Kerr used to tell about Dave Schultz, the late Dave Schultz, Olympic champion. Used to say Dave Schultz would figure out your favorite move, and then when he'd go out there and wrestle, he'd hit you with his favorite move. And so that kind of reminded me of Brett Valerio out there trying to throw a headlock on Jaden Enriquez.
The art of war.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Vargas afraid of going over-under with him. And that plays right into the Greco guy. See how he backs up? This is where Jaden loves to be, right there. So if Brett comes after him, he can get out of bounds and he's safe, or he can try a big throw right here and keep his toes in.
Under a minute to go. No score yet here in the second period or the match.
And there he attempted another headlock, and that time he comes up empty and, in fact, gives up a 2-point takedown.
Looks like he kind of got baited into that one. Like I said, Jaden's the Greco. Don't go Greco with him unless you're that good, I guess. I mean, but I commend Brett Valerio for hitting it.
Number 1 and number 2 going at it.
He's going to cut him.
We're tied up at 2 here. Under 30 seconds to go here in the second period.
I've known Jaden all his life. His dad was a great wrestler for Tulare Union, Jaden Enriquez. So they're still right there in the Tulare Visalia area with Mission Oaks, but his dad was an unbelievable wrestler for Tulare Union.
10 seconds to go here in the second period.
Jaden's going to pick bottom, get back to his feet. Third period.
Darryl Pope, we go into the third. Your thoughts?
It's a tight match here. You know, what's interesting about when the two guys like this that are going upper body, you know, you have a close match, and then all of a sudden, because of that over body, somebody gets thrown and somebody gets pinned. And you're like, where'd that come from? It was so close, you know. But that's the risk you run when two guys are locking it up and going upper body.
Enriquez in the purple is a senior, Villarreal a junior in the white.
Yeah, it goes right back. Here goes right back to his attack. This is exactly, like I said, where Jaden wants to be. He's going to keep controlling that front head, that 2-on-1. He's going to try to get Villarreal's head down and do head in the hole or spin behind or whip him around. And he's going to try to, you know, just go takedowns the rest of the match.
So Jaden Enriquez with a 1-point lead.
Oh, you just cut the tension here with a knife.
Yeah, it's tough because you wrestle for 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, and it comes down to one takedown. But there's where Jaden likes to be, back up there and throwing people by.
1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in this third and final.
Villarreal being very, very aggressive.
He's down 1. He trails 2-3.
You like to see a guy that's behind be aggressive like that, be offensive and attack, but at the same time, you got to be careful because Enriquez, on the other hand, he's looking for that mistake so he can capitalize and extend his lead.
Yeah, you see him pushing forward. That was just the preventing stalling calls that people might want to try to start yelling or screaming. So he's going to hold his ground. He's going to keep his back to the out of bounds. He's going to keep backing up a little bit, and he wants to wrestle. See, he'll take one step back. He'll circle, and now he wants to wrestle there. Watch, see how he's going to circle back to the out of bounds. Right, there he goes. Right where he wants to be. Over, under, right where he loves to be. And this is his style.
35 seconds remain here in the third period. Jaden Enriquez in the purple has a 1-point lead over Brett Villarreal. Coming up on half a minute left.
Ooh, that upper body again. I don't know. He's not going to push him out. He wants to stay in. He wants to pull him back in, yeah. The time and the clock is Jaden's ally right here. All he wants to do is just keep letting it run down.
Enriquez, he's going to let Valerio come at him, which he does. And he's just going to keep those elbows in and palm on serve. But Valerio, nice.
He got it.
Two takedown, Valerio.
Oh, goodness.
That was beautiful.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Daryl Pope said that he just wants him to come to him, and guess what? He did it. Villarreal went to him.
Jaden's getting out, though. He's going to get out.
Will he? Will he?
Locking hands.
Under 10 seconds. Under 10 seconds.
Oh, maybe not. He's going to camp
Villarreal
on
hanging off for a Valley Championship right now. Oh, goodness.
Great match.
It's over.
Wow.
That's what I was talking about with that style of wrestling. No, and this is no knock against Jaden. He's an unbelievable wrestler, but when you keep it close, you can allow for that small margin of error. Something can happen, and you could fall or misstep, and that can cost you two at the very end, and it's tough.
We have an early contender for our Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match. Let's talk about our local tie here, and what a perfect segue. Daryl, what is going up next?
Next is the 145-pound weight class, and there's no stranger out there. That young man in the driller uniform is known as the defending California High School state champion. He's on his way to Arizona State University, and he is known as Navante Demison. He's actually the third-ranked wrestler in the nation. And he'll be taking on a kid from a place called Monache High School.
That's the place.
Junior
That's the place.
from Monache,
Yep.
Bo Bradley. So, Bradley, what can you tell us about Monache and particularly Bo Bradley?
Well, I've known Bo all his life. His dad and I went to school together. His dad came up and played football with me, and then Dad played at Bakersfield College football. Bo did, but
Devontae, quick takedown.
He's been wrestling all his life, but so is Demison. So. Like I said last week at our SWYL tournament, I don't know what you got to do to beat Demison, but you got to try something different, you know. And going after him isn't going to work, I don't think. I think you got to slow the match down. You got to fight off all of his attacks on your feet. You got to give up your one on bottom, get your one on bottom, and then turn into just like we saw last match. Try to get that last takedown at the very end, because if you try to wrestle with Demison, you're probably going to lose. He's just too athletic. So. As sad as it may sound, I think the best way to wrestle Demison is not to wrestle. It's just to, fend off his attacks, keep it 0-0 in the first period, get your one escape, let him get his one escape, and turn it into a one takedown match to win the match. That's obviously easier said than done, though.
Of course, my colleague Brad Hall wrestled for Monache High School, and I often get asked, can anything good come out of Monache? And, of course, I guess so. Bo Bradley's out there.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the Monache crowd right here. My hometown, Porterville, Monache High School, Tim Vanny, Drew Williams, all the history they got there. I know it would be a big one, but I'd love to see Bo win this one.
Navante, very talented, of course, the defending state champion, full ride to Arizona State University. Pinned his guy in the finals in a quick first round. But people often ask, how do you beat Navante Demison? He's so athletic, he's so strong, he's so fast, and I'm reminded of my late Coach Kerr, my college coach, and when we'd ask him, how do you beat certain wrestlers that were that dominant, he'd always say with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
So that's what comes to mind when I think of Navante Demison. How do you beat him? With a baseball bat.
Exactly.
Under 10 seconds in this first period, 4-0, Navante Demison over Bo Bradley. You're looking at the #1 wrestler in the state, the third in the nation in this BHS driller after one period. Brad Hull.
Yeah, like I said, Demison's athletic. He went out there and scored that first takedown. Then he got two on top. So he's going to look to increase his lead. Now things change. Bo needs to start scoring. Demison's going to pick bottom. He's going to try to get another. He's going to get up by a point. Another escape. So, get an escape. He's going to be 5-0.
Demison had a couple of older brothers that wrestled for the Drillers. Both of them took state third in the state of California. And in fact, Chewy Natrell actually went on to college and wrestled for Air Force for a couple of years. And so Navante, following in his footsteps, going Division I, be wrestling for Arizona State University. And Zeke Jones, the Olympic champion there, is the head coach for Arizona State.
It's going to be a reversal for Demison.
And he's got him in trouble, too. Not only he's got two reversal, and he's picking up the near fall, and he's looking to get the pin.
Yeah, he got that leg turn.
And Bo's in trouble. Bo fighting hard. Demison would like to get a fall in front of the hometown crowd here, but Bo fights his way off his back.
Oof, 9-0. Demison dominating.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I'm saying, the more you try to wrestle Demison, the more you're putting yourself in a bad position you're going to lose probably because, I mean, he's just too athletic and he's a great wrestler. So.
Yikes.
Driving that armbar hard, looking for near fall, but Bo Bradley providing good resistance. Demison Vance Palm, as you would know, is the voice of Kern County high school football. Quite a story there. Played football as a freshman and then didn't play his sophomore year, didn't play his junior year. Then he wins a state title and decides his senior year, hey, I'm going to play some football.
Oh, what a beautiful move.
Nice.
What a beautiful move.
And shined on the football field just like he shined out there right now on the wrestling mat.
That was incredible. 11-0 here in the second period. About 40 seconds left here right now. Bo Bradley just kind of running around saying, man, I want nothing to do with this cat if I can help it.
Yeah, you got to throw the kitchen sink at him now.
Right.
Is it going to work? Probably not, but you got to try. You know what I mean? And Bo thought he was out right there, but that's what I'm talking about. He's just too athletic, and he's too good of a wrestler. He knows his mat awareness, and he can come on top 9 times out of 10.
Sitting over there in the corner for the Drillers, that's the head coach, Andy Varner. Of course, Andy Varner wrestled for the Drillers and wrestled for Cal State University at Bakersfield and has done a phenomenal job for the Drillers. Won a couple of high school state team titles. Coached his cousin, Jake Varner, in high school, who we all know went on to Iowa State, won a couple of national titles, and then won a little tournament called the Olympics.
Yeah, just that little tournament, nothing big. Actually, Andy Varner and I wrestled each other at this tournament. Coach Andy Varner back in 94, 95.
How'd that go? Who won that?
Well, I usually got the better of Andy every time, but I can tell you this. When we got to college, Andy would have killed me. That guy went up to we wrestled at 125s. Andy got up to 165s, and I was still 133, so.
Here we go, third period. Navante Demison in control, 11-1 over Bo Bradley. Darryl mentioned his football activities. He got called by some teammates in the Drillers and said, man, you got to come out. It's your senior year. Come out and play and be a part of it. Boy, was he a part of it. As we announced a lot of the BHS games late in the season here on KernHigh.org. Navante Demison, a winner of the Tony's Pizza player of the game, and a huge game against the Garcia Rams. And then when they went on to their run, here we go.
Nice little cow hook, throw by, and picks up another 2 takedowns.
13-1, Navante Demison.
I can't help but feel a little bit nervous watching that Monachi singlet out there. Back in 1982, I wrestled in the California High School State Championships and wrestled a man named Donnie Townsend from Monachi High School. So I've got to feel a little butterflies right now, even though it was back in 1982. That singlet still puts fear into me today.
Must have been that much fear that day. You're a state champ, so you came out on top of that one.
Under a minute left.
Just like it looks like Demison's going to come on top of this one. If I'm Bo, I'm staying away from the doubles and the conventional singles and doubles. I'm maybe taking a half shot, coming up, looking for a headlock. Something got to be big.
43 seconds to go here in the final period. Navante Demison looking to add to his 25-0 record.
Scoot. He's going to give him some near fall.
Working a crab ride. He's got a half and a tight weight trying to come on top.
Half a minute left. Demison still working it.
Yeah, this is going to be it right here. It's going to be
picking up one count. There's the 2 count, and there's the near fall, and you've got a tech fall for the defending state champion.
And that's really important for the team race, Coach Pope, like you were saying. That's where you get those points coming in.
Big round of applause, not just from the local crowd, but the visitors as well. A lot of respect for this #1 wrestler in the state, third in the country. Navante Demison shakes hands with the opposing coaches, and a big round of applause. Your final thoughts there, Brad?
Yeah, hey, Demison, don't take any of my words seriously. I had to go with my Monachi guy, but you're an animal. You're on track to become the state champ, and I hope you do big things, represent the central section at Arizona State University.
Once again, I want to thank Les Schwab. We take pride in doing the right thing in our communities. It's why we are a title sponsor of the Central Section Championships. It allows us the opportunity to support our great young people in the communities we serve. Les Schwab Tires and the CIF, dedicated to supporting today's youth to help make a better tomorrow. Darryl Pope.
152 pounds. These boys are starting to get a little bit big and a little bit strong and a little bit bulky. And out there on the mat now, a couple of local kids from Bakersfield High School, Dylan Cravens, and from the Frontier Titans, Jonathan Garcia. This is actually a rematch from last week's SWIL finals, and Cravens came out on top, and I'm sure Garcia is looking for revenge, not only for himself, but from a team standpoint. If the winner here would get 4 more team points. So if the Drillers could win all of their matches and Frontier loses all of theirs tonight, there's a chance that the Drillers could finish ahead of the Titans. Of course, the Titans want to do the first thing they've ever done in the history of their program, and that is finish ahead of the Drillers.
Both seniors, Garcia and Cravens.
Yeah, I think this is going to be – it's all about what you took from the last time you wrestled each other, and both of them need to get on the offense. I think you're going to see Dylan Cravens trying to get that first-round takedown just like that, and then he was so tough on top with that tight waist that Jonathan Garcia is going to – I don't know if you want to go down. If you do, you better get to your feet because he got rode for about 4 minutes in their league final match.
So like Bradley said last week, Dylan's with a very, very physical tight waist. We'll see if Jonathan Garcia and the Coach Moore can make the adjustments. They've had a week to work in the practice room, and so we'll see what comes of it.
Don't forget, we're tweeting at KHSD Athletics. Our director, Kyle Wiley, making sure that all of the pivotal moments in today's CIF Central Section Championships being tweeted out. 10 seconds left in this first period in the 152-pound division. Jonathan Garcia in the dark blue, Dylan Cravens in the BHS silver singlet, and that does it for the first period, Brad.
That was smart by both wrestlers. I think both of them benefited from 0-0. I think Cravens is priding himself on his top wrestling, knowing he can get away on bottom, but he's going to ride him on top. And Garcia kept it close, so maybe we'll see what he does. We'll see if he picks down or he defers. He picks down, so he has to get to his feet this time. Turned into a one takedown match in the third round.
It's very typical in the sport of wrestling when opponents wrestle each other week after week, and they often see each other several times throughout the season, that the gap seems to narrow and they get closer and closer, and each opponent knows what the other guy does, and so they wrestle a little more conservative, and I think that's what we're seeing right here, and that's why it's 0-0 still in the second period.
So this basically comes down to this situation. Can Cravens ride Garcia, or can Garcia get to his feet and get that one? If Garcia gets away, that's a huge win for him. If Craven rides him the entire period, that's a huge win for Cravens.
I'm always somewhat surprised when I watch high school wrestling of how hard they work to ride a guy because there's no riding time. In college, you get riding time. If you accumulate a minute or more on top of the guy at the end of the match, you get a point.
Oh, good job by Garcia. Nice counter. Hip pressure. Craven's going to work for a stalemate. He wants to hold that leg as hard as he can, try to duck his head underneath there and get his knees underneath him, but Garcia's doing a good job of circling. I don't know if he's going to get it yet. There he ducked that single.
Cravens needs to raise up. Nope, but Jonathan Garcia's raising his hips up and getting him in trouble.
They gave him two.
They gave him two.
Whoa.
Two takedown Garcia.
Craven got to get it. He needs to get one escape.
Close. And you can hear the crowd shouting too. They wanted near fall as well. And that's not going to happen. So Garcia with one escape, two takedown is in the lead, 3-0. Cravens finds himself behind in a match that he won last week.
30 seconds left here in the second.
Garcia's going to get you with the legs, but he needs hip pressure. You see how his hips are kind of out? You need to get the hip pressure in. That will flatten out Dylan Cravens. He's doing a good job working the left shoulder, but he needs that hip pressure to flatten him out.
3-0. The score with 17 seconds to go here in the second period. Coach is calling a timeout.
Yeah, he's going to argue about the near fall. He's going to say, you gave him the two, but you never started counting. I don't think he's going to win the argument because I don't think he's going to ask the other to check with the official. But
and I certainly see Coach Moore's point because I, too, thought I saw the referee doing a count, but yet he didn't award it.
Exactly.
It's so amazing to see the influence of college wrestling. If you look in the corner for the Drillers, you've got Adam Fierro, you've got Frank Lomas, both wrestled for Cal State University of Bakersfield, both wrestled for the Drillers, but they go to college, they come back, they give back to the sport. Over here for Frontier, you've got Kirk Moore and Carlo Franciotti. Carlo wrestled for Cal State Bakersfield, and of course Kirk Moore wrestled for Purdue. Here we go. We're wrestling again.
After the discussion, no change in the score. 3-0 still. Jonathan Garcia with 10 seconds to go here in the second, up 3-0.
Good job by Garcia, because Dylan Cravens needed that one escape right there. Still got 3 seconds to get away, but he needs to get one right now.
Potential dangerous is the call. Final 3 seconds here. Interesting to me, it appears to me, Bradley, I don't know, Coach Dr. Palm here. Last week, Cravens appeared to be the more aggressive wrestler, but right now, I think Garcia has the little more physical.
Look at this. How much time has Dylan Cravens spent on top this time compared to last time? Last time he had 4 minutes prior riding time. Today, maybe 30 seconds. So that's what the change is made by Kurt Moore and the Frontier staff. So he's going to try to ride him as long as he can. If he gives up one, no big deal. If he gives up two, he's okay with that too, because he can still get an escape.
Very good adjustments on the part of the Frontier coaching staff and, of course, Jonathan Garcia as well. Cravens on his belly, not where you want to be.
It's the exact opposite of what we saw last week right here.
Yeah, so hard to get off a bottom when you're on your belly, and even if you do, it takes so much more energy.
Crowd starting to get amped up here. A buck and a half left here in the final third period. 3-0 lead for
crowd would
Garcia.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over
guys.
The crowd would like to see a stalling call on Cravens. They feel like he's just not working hard enough.
But that could actually be a stalling either way, because Garcia's riding parallel, but then again, Cravens isn't building to his base. So who's stalling? I don't know.
Well, I think the crowd that yells the loudest is going to get the call.
That's usually what happens. Whoever yells the loudest usually gets the call.
Referees are so easily influenced, and there's the call on the Frontier for stalling. So just like you said, Bradley, he was riding parallel. The referee wants to see him get off to the side.
So what that means is as the guy on top, it's your job to work for a turn. You can't just be okay with maintaining and keeping the guy down. You have to work for a turn, and the bottom guy has to work to his feet.
Under a minute to go in the third and final period here.
I'm really impressed with Garcia this week compared to last week. He is on a mission to avenge himself.
So that goes to the coaching staff
for the drillers all over the officials.
Yeah, I mean, you can yell for stallings, but you got to win the match by scoring points. So you're not going to try to win by stalling calls. He has to get to his feet. He has to get one and get a takedown.
30 seconds remains.
You see his head, though? His head's buried on the mat. You can't ever get up if your head's on the mat. He needs to get his knees underneath him.
Impressive by Jonathan Garcia. A 3-0 lead right now. 20 seconds remains.
Hey, so that's the example of taking your loss last week, doing your homework, making your adjustments. So now the ball goes to BHS's court. Now you saw what happened. What adjustments are you going to make? Look at Kurt Moore.
Coach Moore really likes what he sees from his wrestler out there.
Because that's coaching right there. That's coaching. He took the loss. He made the adjustments as a coach, and it's great when a plan comes together.
Jonathan Garcia at the 152s with a big win there. Darryl Pope, your quick thoughts.
I really like the way that Coach Moore and the Titan coaching staff helped Jonathan Garcia make the adjustments in the room. Garcia came out hungry, wanted to avenge himself, and Cravens, on the other hand, he's got another week for the drillers to make the adjustments and see what they can do next week.
The bad thing is now the ball's in their court, and they got to make the adjustments. So you got to try to one-up them. What are they going to do so I can change it up again? That's why it's 4 weeks, and they're going to meet again either next week or in the state championships.
Darryl, next up we have two seniors.
160 pounds, and you can see the arms poking out as we get up to the bigger weights here. A couple of boys from a place called Clovis. Pretty good wrestling going on down there. This is Brandon Martino from Clovis. He's a senior, and he's taking on Joel Romero from Buchanan, just a junior. And Martino from Clovis is headed to Fresno State University to wrestle for Troy Steiner.
He's on that double.
And last week, these boys wrestled last week, and Martino from Clovis won a 5-4 victory last week. And just like that, Martino is out in front 2-0. And again, Martino last week won 5-4, and early on finds himself in front 2-0.
Yeah, these guys have a history. Each of them, 2 years ago, they were about 125, 135, so they've progressed up through the weight classes, and now they're meeting each other again. Romero had an older brother, just unbelievable wrestler for Buchanan, Abner Romero, very tough. And Joel is just an unbelievable wrestler. A lot of skill, a lot of technique on his feet, and Martino's just been in the lineup forever, and he's just a solid wrestler. He doesn't lose that much at all.
Under a minute to go, first period. Romero on bottom in the white, Buchanan. Martino, Clovis High School, on top in the gold.
So good job of Romero getting to his feet. Good return by Clovis wrestler. He grabbed that wrist. See, that takes away. It's going to be hard for him to build up when he doesn't have that arm right there. So Martino's doing a great job of keeping pressure forward and controlling that wrist.
$20 seconds remains in this first period.
You don't see a lot of action by Martino, but riding's winning. Sometimes if you can ride, you win. So he's just content with keeping that chicken wing, keeping Joel flattened out, and looking to try to get to the next round to where maybe if it's his choice, he can pick bottom and try to extend that to a 3-0 lead.
Can't say enough about the job that the Terrapellis have done with Clovis High School, and certainly the job that Troy Terrapelli has done with Buchanan. You know, Clovis High School was a dominant team for the last decade. Adam Terrapelli has been there for 13 years now, but Troy Terrapelli took over about 5 or 6 years at Buchanan. I'm not sure exactly, but last year won the state championships, and just amazing the job that he has done, and to the point where now Buchanan is actually ranked second nationally.
I think they're number one. They were before, but I'm not sure. You got to give a lot of credit, too, to Gabe Flores. Gabe Flores is right next to Troy in there. They were teammates at Clovis High School. They were each state champions at Clovis. They both went on to college D1 program together. They came back. They coached a little bit at Central High School, and then they got the opportunity to go to Buchanan, and they're just doing wonderful things for the Valley and for, you know, Buchanan, Clovis area, track wrestling, and everything.
Romero gets a 1.
I wonder what it's like at the Thanksgiving table at the Terrapelli's house.
Pasta.
Do you think they share the turkey? Share the dressing, or do they fight over it?
Probably roll with the wrestling mat and go takedowns, I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
Winner takes all of the drumsticks. Clovis and Buchanan once again here tonight.
Minute left here in the second period.
So 2-1 with a minute to go. You see both nice by Joel. He's going to attack him, but Martino did a nice job circling. He's going to hook that leg. No, not too yet. I don't know about that one.
And Troy Terrapelli wants to have some conversation, and they're going to talk it over. It looked like a quick 2 to me, Brad.
Yep, they waved it off, yep.
And they wave it off, and it's still up.
Here comes Adam now. How are you going to wave that off?
And then Adam, so this is the battle of the brothers here. Let's see who has better argumentative skills.
What an interesting dynamic.
I think we're going to find out who has the better debating skills, Adam Terrapelli or brother Troy Terrapelli.
And Dad's just sitting back in the chair looking like, who's going to win this argument?
I think the Terrapelli should go takedowns, and winner gets the call. What do you think, Bradley?
I think so.
Or
call brother over there at University of Penn and have him Twitter it in or something like that, you know, give his decision.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to be ruled.
Yeah, we're having fun with this, but I'm not so sure the Terrapellis are like our humor.
Hey, they're in the finals. They shouldn't be there. They're happy, I'm sure.
Nonetheless, the call is waved off. It's a 2-1 match. Martino out in front, the senior over the junior, and he's working that 2-on-1.
Martino just seems to be just like one small step ahead of Joel in every position. Like, I don't know, you just see a little bit more dominant on his feet. He's kind of controlling the action. He's kind of making the action happen too.
20 seconds, 19 and a half seconds to go here in this second period. Joel Romero from Buchanan with 1 point. Brandon Martino from Clovis with 2.
But Joel's doing a good job. He's keeping this match close to where it can come down to a takedown. Nice little boot scoop. Tries it twice. No, don't do that.
Dangerous move.
Risky move here.
Yeah. And the end of the second period. We'll start with you, Darryl Pope, as we go into the third.
Martino from Clovis is going to take the bottom position to start the third. Of course, an escape would put him up by 2, and then Romero still right back in it with a takedown. So this match is far from over, and it's pretty clear. The 1 point match they had last week looks like we're headed for the same type of finish this week.
Joel needs to stay off his knees. Nice.
Romero's going to work that tilt if Martino doesn't get up.
He's going to get his hips underneath him.
You're on bottom. You want to keep moving, create some space, get your hip space, and get to your feet, hand control, and get out there. looks like Martino's kind of content just to stay down there with try and win it by one, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, the ball's on his court. Like you're saying, Joel's the one that needs to score. It's easier for me to sit on bottom and not get scored on. So Martino's probably not going to be in any hurry. They're going to let Joel's going to cut him probably with about a minute left. Joel will try to cut him and then turn into a takedown for a tie.
I'm sure Martino's philosophy is not to stay down there on bottom and win by one because at the very least he'd get a stall call. And there you go, he gets out.
Yep.
You hear the applause, and that's Martino getting out, making it a 3-1 match. A minute left here in the third.
Romero with 1 minute to try and find out a way to come up with 2 points. Of course, a takedown would only tie it, and then you're looking at overtime if he could hang on.
We have not gone to overtime yet today.
Romero very physical on that head, trying to create some space, slapping the legs. He's going to have to drop his hips to get some deep penetration. He's just kind of reaching now, Bradley. He's got to drop and get deep penetration. Turn the corner.
Martino's doing a good job squaring up his stance, digging in, lowering his center of gravity, and just getting inside tie and just defending everything. He knows Romero has to come to him. So
Martino with those elbows in and circling. See that? He's just circle. He's going to try and hang on to his 2-point victory.
Romero's got to make a move now.
There's the stall call, but that's too little, too late. And Romero can't find a way to get into those legs of Martino. And there you have it. Martino,
head, hands,
1-point victory
right
last week, and Martino with a 2-point victory this week.
So Brandon Martino.
That's not the end of those two. I'm sure you'll see them again next week, if not perhaps again at the California High School State Championships at Rabobank Arena, March 3rd and 4th.
We continue to climb the weight classes. Darryl, what's next?
Well, we're up to 170 pounds. A couple of seniors. I mentioned earlier, as these boys get bigger, you're going to see a lot more of the upperclassmen. And just like that, there's 2 seniors. Victor Vargas from Clovis taking on Jeremy Moss, a local boy from Liberty High School right here in Bakersfield.
Coached by Kyle Plummer. I got to apologize to Kyle. Last week, I always call him Plummer all the time. And when I had to say Kyle, it threw me off. I was thinking I called him Kyle Porter or something like that. But that was a teammate of his. But it's actually Kyle Plummer.
Victor Vargas out there from Clovis. He's in the dark singlet, though. Changed up. All the other Clovis wrestlers at this point were in that yellow singlet. Victor going with the dark black Clovis singlet.
Liberty High School Patriot Jeremy Moss, local for our local audience.
Also in the black singlet. I don't know what's up with these guys in the black singlet. That's a foothill black. Good takedown by Clovis.
Again, the 170 class, Victor Vargas from Clovis, Jeremy Moss from Liberty High School. Some strong boys down there. Moss 30-3.
Moss, coached by Liberty, over in his corner there, coaching him is a Cal State Bakersfield wrestler and also a BC Renegade wrestler, Ryan Maloche.
Yep, foothill wrestler.
Foothill wrestler, very good wrestler in his day, and certainly having some influence at Liberty. Jeremy Moss out there in the finals, one of the only Liberty High School wrestler in the finals tonight.
Yeah, it is.
So, impressive.
Both seniors on the mat. Under a minute to go in the first period.
Yeah, Ryan Maloche, the assistant coach at Liberty, was actually teammates of the Frontier coach, Kurt Moore, back in high school.
Good crowd here tonight,
sure
Vance. I'm reminded back in the day, of course, when I was a senior in high school, they had the state tournament at Independence High School.
Oh.
And then they outgrew that.
Selling Arena.
And they went to UOP.
Okay.
And that, for the state championships, that held about 6,000-7,000 people. They outgrew that. And, of course, now, the California High School State Championships right here in Bakersfield, Rabobank Arena, and that thing will hold 13,000 when it's sold out.
See if time will run out.
Ooh, Vargas putting Moss into
like a little leg trip there.
Precarious situation.
At the end of one, Brad Hull.
Vargas looked tough. He looked very tough on his feet. He was able to control the ties, get his offense going, and really dominated on top. Looks like he's going to pick down, try to work for his one escape, and get right back to his offense.
Jeremy Moss with the lighter hair. I guess that's how I could describe it for our audience. The Liberty High School, he's on top. Vargas, Clovis on bottom. Vargas leads 4-1 as we start the second period.
Yeah, Moss is doing a good job riding. He flattened out Vargas, but at some point he's going to have to score some points here. So he definitely needs to work a turn, catch Vargas as he builds up, chop an arm or something like a 2-on-1 tilt or something.
Now he's got the right knee on the right elbow. Had it there for a second.
No Granby roll. Gonna get two.
Nice reversal. Romero showed some good skills out there. Moss very strong, very physical, but he seems to be outmatched by the technical aspect of the technical skills.
Vargas loves that leg trick. Every time he gets a takedown, he traps that leg, elevates it, and he's going to attack that far shoulder, and he's just going to keep him there.
Yeah, very good skills out there on top by Vargas.
A minute left here in the second period. Jeremy Moss finds himself in a bit of a distressing situation. He's down 6-1 now.
Moss has to crawl forward because you see his legs are switched. He's on his hip. There's no way he can build up like that, so he has to crawl forward, almost like as if you're crawling away from somebody.
8-1 right now in favor of Victor Vargas from Clovis. He's the wrestler on top.
Yeah, Vargas isn't getting up with that leg right there. He's keeping that leg trick the whole period. No, don't worry about that leg. Crawl forward.
You're talking to Moss now, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Moss needs to belly out and crawl forward or get out of bounds. I mean, it's the same thing because there's no offense you can have from right there. And they're not going to call stalemate. They're not going to call stalling. So Vargas is wrestling smart. This is a great match by Vargas.
Sometimes the best way to get out of a situation in wrestling is to never get there. And unfortunately, it looks like Moss is in one of those. You can tell him all you want, crawl forward and do this and do that, but sometimes it's just too late. It's like, Coach, how do I counter a guillotine? Well, you don't get in it.
Yeah. Coach Kurt's famous words, how do you get off your back? We're not going to go over that stuff. You just don't get in it, you know.
Again, more of these Sun Tzu disciples 10,000 years later don't get in that position. 2 minutes left here in this third and final period at the 170-pound class. We are nearing the end.
And there, Moss learned his lesson. He knows that Vargas is tough on top with that leg vine, that Turk, and so Moss comes to his feet this time, gets the escape, and there you have it. He's able to wrestle on his feet now. He's down by 6, so he needs a big move. Right here, he wants to dig in perhaps and throw him from his feet to his back. He needs a takedown. He needs back points if he's going to get in this, have any chance of winning it. So I'm thinking big.
Yeah, if I'm Vargas, I'm clearing my underhook, and I'm getting right back to a leg attack. Because you got to stay out of that stuff.
Nice inside trip. Oh. Nice inside trip, but they're not going to give it to him.
He should get a point for his effort right there, I think.
That
should be a new rule.
That was beautiful.
That was reminiscent of the days of a guy named Jesse Reyes. Jesse Reyes, of course, wrestled for the Drillers, then wrestled for Cal State University at Bakersfield. He was a Division I national champion.
Good job by Moss.
And that inside trip that you just saw Garcia hit was Jesse Reyes' go-to move.
Cuts it to an 8-4 lead here with exactly 60 seconds left here. Now all of a sudden you see Jeremy Moss on top.
Now Moss in with the leg.
He's going to go banana splits.
The tide has changed.
His leg got taken out. He needs to circle to the front, work a cobra, let him to his feet.
Yeah.
He's going to push away. Yeah.
You have to admire his aggression, the fact that he hasn't quit, but he needs a big move. He's got to go to his back. He's got to be thinking back points.
Oh, stepped out.
And there you saw the two supporting points right there that we were talking about. Moss had a supporting point out of bounds, and as soon as Garcia stepped out, they called him out.
So if that would have been college, like you're advocating for, that would have been completely in, and he would have got the takedown.
Yeah, half a minute left in this final period. 9-4 right now. Victor Vargas in control. Moss shown some life in this third period. But this is it, under 20 seconds.
Yeah, Vargas did a great job that match. He looked good on his feet. And the difference between this match was the leg Turk. It was the back points. So you take away that leg Turk, scoring 4 or 5 back points, and Moss is right in that match. But great win by Vargas.
Another Valley champion, Victor Vargas, Once again, Maxpreps is a proud sponsor and official photographer of the California Interscholastic Federation. View and purchase high-quality action photos from today's events by visiting maxpreps.com, and visit maxpreps.com now on your mobile phone for access to scores, rosters, schedules, leaderboards, and more. maxpreps.com, America's source for high school sports. Darryl Pope.
182 pounds, Vance. From Bakersfield High School, a driller, Sam Loera, returning state placer. He's a senior. He's on his way to Adams State next year. Take his talents there to wrestle for Coach Jason Ramstetter, All-American from Cal State Bakersfield. And Loera is going to be taking on Anthony Montalvo, a junior from Buchanan High School.
Last week, Loera was our Tony's Pizza wrestler of the match.
And
these two are getting after it right away.
He finds himself down quickly. Montalvo, I'm sorry.
Oh, Montalvo's just a physical wrestler. I wouldn't say there's much difference between Sam and Montalvo in terms of wrestling skills, but the difference you're going to see in this match is Montalvo is just physical. He wrestles a lot like Mejia, that straightforward coming at you. I'm going to do everything hard. I'm going to score. I'm going to dominate.
He wasted no time there. As soon as he got the head down of Loera, who went right to that head in the hole, got the angle, and secured the takedown. And now, as you said, Bradley, very physical on top. He's got that armbar on Loera's back and looking for back points.
He's ranked number 1 in the nation, guys.
Could be.
Is Montalvo number 1 in the nation? I'm sorry, first in the state.
Number 1 in the state.
Number 1 in the state, 12 in the nation. So Buchanan with Anthony Montalvo, number 1 in the state there, the local wrestler Sam Loera in the gray BHS singlet.
And of course, Montalvo's just one of 10 number 1 ranked wrestlers in the state in this little tournament right here. You know, you talk about talent on loan from God. This little tournament has it. You just wonder how many of these number 1 ranked guys are going to go on to greatness like other wrestlers that have come through this divisional. Jake Varner came through this divisional. He was an Olympic champion. Yeah. Tim Vanny came through this divisional.
Who we just talked to this evening.
Porterville.
He was an Olympian.
Yep.
Jesse Reyes came through this. He was a Division I national champion. So a lot of talent has come through this divisional. A lot of talent is out there tonight. And it's going to be fun to watch these boys in the future in high school as well as at the Division I college level.
47 seconds remains here in this first period.
Yeah, Montalvo's not going to let off on the gas. He's going to keep coming the whole 6 minutes.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Sam Loera is headed to Adams State, a nice little Division II college in Colorado. Head coach there is Jason Ramstetter. Jason was a Division I All-American for Cal State University at Bakersfield. And were you on the same team with him, Bradley, or
Jason Ramstetter? Yeah.
Jason Ramstetter and you guys were teammates.
Yeah. Jason was the Iowa killer, what we called him, because for some reason he could wrestle so good on the mat. He would just shut people down, and I know those Iowa Hawkeyes were so upset with him all the time because he would find a way to scramble, find a way to score all the time.
Coach Ramstetter has a lot to offer, and Sam Loera is going to learn a lot in that program. But right now, he's got his hands full, and he needs to learn how to come up with 2 points to at least tie this match.
182 pounds.
Yeah, you saw a dominant round by Montalvo. Got the takedown, rode Loera out the whole period.
2-0 after the end of the first period. Brad, your thoughts?
So here's what you got to do if you're Sam. You got to take it 2 ways. Like I said, he's just as good as some wrestling-wise, but the physicality of Montalvo. So you either got to match him with physicalness at the start by clubbing and going after him, putting him on his heels, or you have to shut down his offense and keep it close and score at the end. So those are the 2 ways. But if you try to wrestle with him, it's going to be hard. So Sam got to figure it out. Either get physical with him and turn into a wrestling match, or shut him down and score at the end. But if you just sit there and try to take it from Montalvo, he's going to keep giving it to you, and he's going to break you down, and he's going to end up scoring on you.
Minute and a half left here in the second. 2-0. Anthony Montalvo, number 1 in the state, 12th in the nation, over Sam Loera right now. It's Sam Loera the third, by the way. Montalvo 32-1, Loera 37-6. Exciting match last week in the SWIL finals. Loera was down to Blumfield, quick reversal, and won the Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match.
Last week, Sam Loera was losing the entire time, but he hung in there and kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And so he's down here again. He finds himself in the same situation as last week, but I'm not going to count him out. After I saw the way he persevered, hung in there, and kept battling last week, I know what he's capable of.
Yeah, he has it in him.
And if you're Anthony Montalvo, you've got a scant 2-point lead now, even though, as you mentioned, Brad, he looks in control, dominant first period, but
the danger Montalvo has to watch out for, if you notice, right when the match started, Montalvo scored. So he's capable of scoring, but he appears to have already shut down his offense, and he's somewhat content with that 2-0 lead. That's a dangerous mindset, especially with somebody like Loera, who has the star power to score and score quickly.
28 seconds remains in the second period, still 2-0.
Yeah, Montalvo's going to keep coming forward. He loves the club and push you forward, put you on. As you're walking back, it's hard to score when you're walking backwards. So you'll see him push, and then he'll almost want to get you to the edge and keep you inbounds.
Loera was attempting to be a little more physical, banging that head as Montalvo as well. You got to be careful. You know, you want that aggression. You want to work the head. You want to be physical, but you got to be careful. Getting a little bit extended, both guys here, and run the risk of reaching and getting caught.
At the end of 2, at the 182-pound weight class, 2-0. Montalvo on bottom with the lead.
Caution.
False start on Loera. That's his first one. You get one free.
Coaches are looking to Andy Varner, say, what do you want us to do? You want us to cut him, go takedowns, or you want us to try to ride him? I think his best chance is going to be to cut him. Go for the 2 takedowns.
Yeah, Loera's not known for having that big move on top, and there you see him. He just cuts him. And now he's got plenty of time, and which is good because he needs 2 takedowns. One's not going to do it. And that would only tie it, Bradley. So 2 takedowns would tie it. So you'd like to think, hey, I'm going to get 2 takedowns, and in one of those, I'm going to try and take you to your back so I can win this thing.
You can work for a stalling call, backing him up. The momentum's going to be the big thing. If Sam can get that takedown, the momentum's going to shift, just like we saw last week, and that's when Sam starts to believe in. He starts picking up more as the match goes on, to where the worst thing Montalvo can do is shut down.
Under 90 seconds to do it.
That's where Montalvo likes to be, pushing back into you. Sam needs to shove him out of bounds. Yes.
1 minute, 7 seconds left here in the 182-pound weight class for the Valley Championships here in the central section of California. Loera got to get busy here in this Bakersfield crowd. His home crowd wants it. Under a minute.
I like that Sam's mixing up a little bit more shots to the head. He's kind of letting Montalvo know, hey, I'm here to wrestle you. He needs to get out now.
And Montalvo with a grin, a little bit of a grin there. They're both upright here, 50 seconds.
There's some heads going at it. There's some swinging.
Very physical.
But that's what I was talking about. That's what you got to do from the start with Montalvo, I think, if you're Sam. You had to match that intensity. He's going to give it to you the whole time.
Yeah.
You can either take it or you better give it back and then turn it into a takedown.
37 seconds here.
Sam's trying to be aggressive, trying to be a little more physical, but is yet to do anything that gets him some points. And that's the key. You got to get some points.
Oh, gave that one up.
Montalvo.
Wow, and
There's
Montalvo with a little crossface there. And now he's smiling, and so I don't know if he's cocky or confident.
I say confident.
I say both.
Yeah, he wrestled his style. That's his style. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
Yeah.
I don't blame Montalvo for the way that's his style. You knew what you're getting when you came on, stepped on the mat with him. So,
Brad, I didn't see you wrestle, but I
didn't wrestle. I didn't wrestle that way.
This guy to my left, certainly let people know that he was there.
Yeah, Coach Pope. Yeah, I can tell you some stories about Coach Pope being dominant.
I'm critical of that crossface he threw, but I think I was guilty of more of them than him. Number one.
I was inferring that if you didn't catch on there, Principal.
But I'm also thinking if you crossface like that on me,
yeah, you're probably gonna get something in about 10 seconds. I can tell you that.
I might be breaking the rules. Of course, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Today, you crossface me like that, I want to say, please stop.
Yeah.
It turned, and then I'm gonna run and call the police.
Here we go. Looks like we have another Valley champion, and we do, and it's going to be Anthony Montalvo. That was no easy feat. He didn't get it just handed to him.
That's a good wrestler. Anthony Montalvo just beat Sam Loera, and he made it look easy. So Montalvo, I think he's got a bright future. You're going to see more of him in the next 2 weeks.
We have 3 left, right?
Down to our final 3 bouts, 195 pounds. Ryan Reyes is only a sophomore from Clovis West, and he's taking on a junior from Buchanan, Trevor Irvin. So once again, a couple of guys from that town up the road called Clovis. Something tells me those boys know how to wrestle there.
Yeah. Someone tells me they have some history together too.
Here we go.
This is a rematch of last week in the track finals, where Ryan Reyes came out on top 7-2. So again, last week Reyes over Irvin 7-2, and here they are again.
Trevor Irvin in the white, Ryan Reyes in the black.
As I mentioned earlier, a lot of times when opponents wrestle each other often, they get a little more conservative, and so we'll see what happens here. From the looks of it, Reyes, I don't think he wants a conservative, close match.
There goes a tooth. He might have lost a tooth right there.
Yeah,
he thinks he might have lost a tooth. We'll see.
It's either lost or loosened it, one of the two.
Ryan Reyes from Clovis West is only a sophomore. He has an older brother, Nico Reyes. He's quite the high school wrestler. He won 2 California high school state championships himself, and also took a 3rd place. He was a 3-time state place. In fact, got a full ride scholarship for the University of Illinois. Wrestled for Jim Heffernan, University of Illinois, for a couple of years, and then transferred to Northern Colorado.
Yeah, he's right there on the side. He's probably his workout partner now. Nico is very tough for Clovis West and Ian Shaw. Trevor Irving's been in there. He's been a staple for the Buchanan lineup at 195 pounds. He's a tough wrestler.
Your 4-time state champion is saying goodbye to you.
Okay, I thought they were trying to get my attention for something else, but Darryl Vasquez, the only 4-time California high school state champion in the history of this sport, is walking out.
How unassuming is that young man carrying a little baby? Can you imagine if you just didn't know what that cat was all about? Next thing you know, you're begging for your life.
Yeah, he's happily married and has a little one there. And
I think now we got a blade nose by Reyes.
Anyway,
So,
talking about Nico, the older brother of Ryan Reyes, he University of Illinois, wrestled a couple years there, qualified for the Division I National Championships, and then he transferred to Northern Colorado and was there for a while. And I believe he's here tonight. Brad, did you say you saw Nico?
Well, I think he's right there. I think he's right there in the burgundy.
So Ryan Reyes,
Coach's little brother.
possibly lost a tooth, and he's got a second situation arriving here.
There he is in the corner, Nico, coaching his brother Ryan. So you'd have to think that the young Ryan Reyes here, only a sophomore, his success is due to the fact that older brother's really been working with him.
Yeah, Reyes is tough. He got he's a high wrestling IQ. He knows how to wrestle, he knows position, and he does good at his style of wrestling. He makes it work for him. So you see him kind of make a splash this year onto the high school scene, and as a sophomore, he's doing some great things to be in the Valley Finals.
18 seconds remains here in this first period. 195-pounders.
We mentioned that Darryl Vasquez, a 4-time California high school state champ, was in the house tonight, and he just walked out. And I couldn't help but see the man with him, Larry Morgan. We mentioned him earlier. Larry Morgan graduated from this high school right here, East High School, and went on to be 4th in the world of California. I mean, the 4th in the world championships in freestyle wrestling. But Larry was in the house too. Good to see Larry. Larry's man, he's looking good for an old man. I hope he's not listening though, because he'll beat me up for saying that.
I wouldn't mess with that old man. He might throw you around the gym.
At the end of the first period here, 195 pounds in the white is Trevor Irvin. He has a 2-point lead from Buchanan over Ryan Reyes at Clovis West. Ryan Reyes, by the way, is a sophomore. Trevor Irvin from Buchanan, a junior.
Trevor's going to try to get to his feet, get one. We'll see if Reyes is interested in just trying to ride him out like he did last period. where he's going to try to get this back on their feet and get back on his offense. I wouldn't be surprised he cuts them here in about 20 seconds and then tries to get to another takedown.
Crowd starting to get involved.
They're stalling.
Ryan Reyes is currently ranked number 3 in the state of California.
Trevor just needs to keep him tripod up, get one foot up, and get to his feet again, just like he's doing. Reyes does a good job of getting his weight forward and keeping all Trevor's weight on his hands forward. He's going to let him go, yeah.
And there's the escape. It's a 1-point match.
Trevor got to get on his offense. He needs a takedown in this period. You need to put Reyes on his heels, make him change up his style. Reyes can just sit back and wait for Irvin to come after him and try to score off of his Irvin's offense. Try to be a counter wrestler.
Minute left here in the second period.
People want action, but the thing, if Irvin's not shooting, then there's not going to be any stalling called. If neither of them are attacking, so Reyes can just control the center of that white area right there on the mat and go into the third period, pick the bottom, and keep doing what he's doing.
That's the voice of Brad Hull, Wenatchee High legend, Foothill High School coach, athletic director, dean of students, wrestled on the Pac-10 championship teams of 96 and 99 with Coach Kerr and Coach Pope. And we are so fortunate to have him with us today, along with my other partner, Daryl Pope. 20 seconds left in the second period here at the 195 class.
Yeah, I don't know about the legend part, but just kidding.
DP told me, so I got to go with it.
It's because he recruited me. He had to say that.
Attaboy. He's got stock in it. Under 10 seconds to go here. Not a lot of action. 2-1.
Irvin has to get some offense.
So here we go, Daryl. Third period.
Down.
We're going to start the third period with Ryan Reyes in the bottom position. So an escape would extend his lead, and he'd be up by 2. And what bothers me is I haven't seen Trevor Irvin show a threat to be able to score quite yet.
Nice scramble roll.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's a 3-point lead here by Ryan Reyes. That's a lot of points when you're not getting yourself into positions to try to be able to score.
And this is almost one of the matches where you want to try things, see what works, what doesn't work, because you're probably going to meet up again. So until you try things, you don't know what positions you're good at, what positions you're bad at against Reyes. So kind of shutting it down or not having any offense isn't helping. If you're going to lose, go ahead and lose, but go ahead and take as many shots you can. Give Reyes some different looks. See where he's weak at, see where he's good at, and then take that back with you to Buchanan and see what you can do next week.
90 seconds remains in this match.
Irvin is he's wrestling hard, and he's trying.
Back to a 2-point lead.
Reyes is just so solid, he's having trouble getting himself into positions that would allow him to score. You can see there, Irvin, he's stalking him, he's moving forward, but the challenge is, can he get himself in a position where he can score?
Yeah, he's going to probably get another stalling call. Reyes will get a stalling call against him. Irving's going to get a point, but until he gets some offense, you're not going to accumulate enough points to beat Reyes.
A minute and 2 seconds remain in the third.
And to be honest, Reyes doesn't need to really attack or anything. He can get that 2-on-1 and just control that center.
Again, 195 pounds.
Nice change of direction. Fake shots, good motion, good movement. Reyes is certainly has the ability to score quickly when he wants to.
Yeah, he can wrestle. That was one of the things where, hey, I'm going to take a half shot to get the stalling warning off me,
He's ranked number 1 in the Central section, number 8 in the state, a record of 32-4. 30 seconds remains here.
Reyes is going to back up, play the edge, get on your bike, right by the out of bounds. So if Irvin does decide to attack, I can be real close to out of bounds and get out of bounds. There's your stalling, but that's fine.
And again, 1 point is a close match, but the fact that Irvin is having a hard time getting in a position to score, something tells you it's just a bigger gap than 1 point.
12.5 seconds remain, 4-3.
I see the fakes.
Yeah. Irvin in the white. Got to make something happen.
Those shots with that head down,
nice.
They're hard to score when you're shooting and the head's going down. So I'm sure Coach Troy Terapelli will make some adjustments, though, and that's not the end of Irvin. It's a nice victory by Ryan Reyes, and he incites the crowd to give him a cheer there. Clovis West, they always enjoy beating Buchanan, so.
Yeah, nice win by Reyes.
2 more to go.
And obviously it's a lot easier said than done. Well, us sitting up here saying how Irving needs to attack, but he's trying. He wrestled a tough match. He gave it everything he had. He just needs to try to get some offense.
Daryl Pope. The penultimate match.
Yeah, 220 pounds. Cade Belche from Buchanan and John Pelagian from Clovis North. A couple of seniors. Of course, the Buchanan's Belche is on his way to the University of Penn to wrestle for his coach's brother, Alex Terapelli.
Wow.
And this is a rematch as well, fellas. Last week, Belche pinned Pelagian. So Buchanan with the pin last week, Belche. And now nice. Pelagian looking like he wants the pin.
Pelagian put him in a position that Belche didn't like. So that's what I go right back to. Get people where they're uncomfortable. Belche is just an unbelievable wrestler. Been wrestling since he's probably been 3rd, 4th grade. Won Reno, won all the tournaments as a youth. But Pelagian's doing a good look. There's the stalling. Good job by Pelagian, changing it up.
Cade Belche out of Buchanan said his future goals is to be an NCAA champ, and he wants to swim with sharks. Wants to swim with sharks, fellas.
Belche with a nice double leg, good penetration, finishes it, secures the takedown.
Being an NCAA champion, you might be swimming with sharks at that tournament. So he got the right body. Look at Belche, got that tall, lean. He can fill in. He's going to be a tough 197-pounder, or I guess heavyweight, maybe at college. I don't know.
They're both seniors.
Belche certainly will receive some good coaching at the University of Penn. As we mentioned, the brother of Adam Terapelli at Clovis and the brother of Troy Terapelli at Buchanan is Alex Terapelli, and he's the head coach of the University of Penn. Of course, Alex was a 3-time California high school state champion and a 2-time All-American for the University of Illinois. Finished 2nd in the country as a freshman and 4th as a sophomore. 2-time All-American. And so
when he was at Clovis, he was a high school national champ his senior year as well.
Of course, he was a long-time assistant for the Stanford Cardinal and honed his coaching skills there, and now he's the head coach at University of Penn, and Belche is going to reap the benefits of that.
What about that double there, Pope?
That's reminiscent of a guy, I think he was your roommate.
Yep.
He's not very well known, but
his double might be.
Stephen Neal wrestled for Cal State Bakersfield, 2-time national champ. And, of course, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots as the right offensive guard. Stephen Neal was known for his double leg.
Not the first couple of years, but not in practice, I can tell you that. Because Coach Pope was known for crushing Stephen Neal in practice room every day.
Well, Belche, very similar body style to Stephen Neal. Very long and lanky, and even though he's tall, he's got a good ability to drop his hips and penetrate, and that's what makes that double effective.
At the end of the first period, Cade Belche leading 4-2 over John Pelagian from Clovis North as we go into the second period in the 220-pound class.
I like what Pelagian's doing. You know, he's staying in this. I would probably let him go. I would get him back to his feet, and I would go with those double overhooks again. Double overhooks, because every time he puts Belche in that double overhooks, you see Belche drop his butt and he starts to scoot out. He doesn't like being in that position. I don't know if Pelagian can score for there, but I would definitely put him in that position again if I could.
You know, watching this match reminds me, just a wonderful reminder of what a great sport this is, because you're looking out there at 220s, and I'm looking at Belche, and I'm saying he should be playing basketball, and I'm looking at Pelagian, I'm saying he should be on the football field, and yet these fellas are out there going mano-y-mano in a nice little wrestling match.
What do you see, Brad? 7-2 now.
Yeah, I mean, Belshay's doing exactly what he has to do. He's sticking to his low attacks, and when he's on his feet, staying away from the upper body, and he's dominant on top. So he's going to try to ride out this period on top, I believe. Halajian's probably going to pick neutral next round and try to go for something with that double overhooks again.
Sport of wrestling is not prejudice. They'll let the tall guys, the short guys, the thick guys, the skinny guys, the guys with freckles, all of them get to wrestle.
When I was playing basketball at Cal State and you were wrestling there, Eric Middlestead was my height, my weight. I would have died.
You guys should have recruited him.
I would have been crushed.
He could have set the pick and roll for you.
Oh my gosh.
He could have picked and you could have rolled.
We did have a guy on our team, Rafael Davis. What was his nickname?
Noodle.
Noodle, because of his body style. And unbelievable All-American.
Under a minute to go here in the second period. All of a sudden, we've got Cade Belshay in control in a big way. John Halajian able to get back at least on his stomach.
Yeah, Halajian needs the best he can to stay on his base, get out of that chicken wing, and take this to the third round.
Belshay another 2 points.
Oh. It's not going to get out of this round, yep.
Oh,
good job.
Have it. Belshay.
First one of the
night.
Evening.
And so Belshay picks up the pin, but hats off to Halajian. I think he lasted longer this week than last week and was very competitive. Good effort. But Belshay picks up a pin again just like he did last week.
And brings us to our final match of the CIF Central Section Yosemite Division. Here it is.
Hey, was that fast or what? Time flies when you're having fun.
Hanging out with two pros like you guys.
I'm here with the legend of Monache and Dr. Vance Palm. As not really a doctor, but when I watched him on the basketball court, he reminded me of Dr. J.
What do you have here, big man? Here we go.
Well, we've got a couple of wrestlers that are a little bit too big for me to grapple with. We've got Seth Nevels from Clovis. He's a junior. And Armando Barcenos from Hanford. He's a senior.
Ooh, nice takedown.
And, of course, Seth Nevels, who just scored a takedown there. That name, no stranger to the sport of wrestling. Seth has an older brother that wrestles for Stanford.
Wow.
Zach's older brother. Zach is his older brother, wrestled for the Stanford Cardinal. And he's got another older brother that is currently redshirting at Penn State. He's 197-pounder.
You might not be able to get through all this.
And he has an older brother named Nick, who's the heavyweight for Penn State and currently ranked number 3 in the country. And if Seth keeps wrestling like this, I got a feeling he's going to end up at Penn State wrestling with his brothers as well. Kel Sanderson, of course, 4-time national champion, Olympic champion, world champion. The coach at Penn State, probably listening to our live feed right now.
I'm sure they are.
And watching Seth out there. But we'll just save Coach Sanderson all the legwork and just say, hey, Coach, this is somebody you want as well.
In trouble again is Barcenos.
Yeah, Hanford Bullpups. He just ran into a monster right here, though.
Also, one of the assistant coaches at Penn State, a man named Jake Varner, Olympic champion. I think
the final match of the evening finishes with Nevels taking care of business with a pin, and that wraps that up. I'll tell you what, we'll collect our thoughts. We will discuss our Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match. We will also thank our sponsors. We'll have our director, Kyle Wiley, go through some sponsorship ads here. And when we come back, our Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match, that wraps it up. The CIF Central Section Yosemite Divisional for 2017 in the books. Back right after this.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm, Brad Holt, Darryl Pope. Well, this is it. The CIF Central Section Yosemite Divisionals 2017 in the books. Before we go anywhere, we would like to thank, of course, Maxpreps.com, Les Schwab Tires, and, of course, all of our good friends here locally. I want to put it nice plug-in for our local sponsors that have been a part of this since the very beginning. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, PAV Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and, of course, Raymond's Trophies here locally in Bakersfield. Well, fellas, as we always do here, we give out the Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match. But before we get specific on that, your overall thoughts of this Saturday evening here at Bakersfield?
It was just what I thought. I mean, you saw some exciting wrestling, some of the best in the state, some of the best in the nation. We had some exciting matches, and it's fun to watch. So you learn from this, you take it on, and you move forward to the next week.
Daryl Pope?
Great action tonight, great wrestling. But the fellas, like I said, they're just content to be moving on. They're content to win their championship, but their minds are really on next week. And then next week, they're just trying to advance one more week to the state championship, and then they're hoping they can come away with a state championship or a medal or whatever their goal is. But at this point in the season, it's all about going out there and performing, but just getting to the next week. And then when you get to state tournament, hey, that's the granddaddy of them all, and you're hoping to come away with a medal or the championship, whatever your goal is.
All right, this is it, the Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match. I get 33%. The student gets 33%, and the teacher gets that 1 extra percent. So here we go. We have a T-shirt and a $20 gift certificate that our director, Kyle Wiley, will present and get to the school. I watched, with interest, all of the wrestlers. Vince Petrocelli's a friend of mine. His son started off the match with a great score with like 4 seconds left. They got the day going. But then I watch Devontae Demison. I see what he does. I see how he just manhandles the number 6 wrestler in the state. So in my mind, as the novice here, the basketball player that loves wrestling, I'll throw my 33% in for the number 1 wrestler in the state at his weight, Devontae Demison.
That's a great pick. And Devontae's probably going to hate me after this, but I love Devontae Demison. I think he's great. I think he's unbelievable. He put on a show tonight. He did everything that was expected of him to do. But personally, as a wrestling guy, wrestling coach, I want to say that I appreciate Jonathan Garcia. From where he came last week when we watched him, and he kind of got dominated, to be honest. He got dominated on the bomb position, and he made those adjustments. So with Kurt Moore and the Frontier program and the performance they put on, I think I'm going to go with Jonathan Garcia tonight.
Okay, that goes to our Hall of Famer.
Well, you can certainly make an argument for Devontae Demison as the Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Week. I mean, he's the defending state champion. He went out there and put on a dominant performance. He looks good. He looks really, really good. But the kid that he wrestled, Bo Bradley, he's from Wenatchee.
Yeah, come on.
Bo went out there and gave a tremendous effort.
See what he did there? He reversal and a near fall, all just like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he's from Wenatchee, so if you beat somebody from Wenatchee, it doesn't really hold as much credibility.
So your state championship doesn't hold as much state credibility, right?
So again,
KDub 1, KDub 2. This is what the Tony's Pizza is supposed to be all about right here. Basically, why don't you guys go to the mat, you two?
No way.
Anyway, I'm making light of the fact that my friend here, Brad Hull, wrestled for Wenatchee. But Devontae Demison, like I said, you can make an argument for him. But I think tonight I'm going to have to agree with Brad. And the wrestler of tonight is going to be Jonathan Garcia. And I just like the way that he got beat pretty good last week. But he didn't let that bother him. He regrouped. He went into the practice room, and you can tell they worked on a different mindset. They worked on some things technically. He came out here ready to compete, ready to avenge his loss, and he had a great match tonight. And the match between him and Cravens this week was a whole lot different than last week. And so my choice would have to be Cravens just because they're so well matched, and yet Garcia went up another level, came away with the victory.
Well, there it is. Kyle, there's your Tony's Pizza Wrestler of the Match. Congratulations. Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you personally on camera. Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you.
A real pleasure to have you with us. Thank you, and you bring so much to it. I just can't even wait for next year. I'm already wanting to plan for next year wrestling. Partner, long-time buddy of mine, Daryl Pope, what an honor to be here with you. I got to tell you a quick story before we go off the air. My daughters have been seeing me doing all this and getting involved in it, and they said, well, who are the couple of guys, Dad, that you'd always want in your corner? And I said, there's 2 guys, and you are one of them. And so I want to tell you how much it's a pleasure for me to be involved in doing this. Can't wait for next year, guys. Kevin Willey, thank you for everything you do, KW1. He's been here since day one. He's covered it all and heard some great reports on what he's doing with getting the camera on that mat. And to our director, Kyle Wiley, all of this, everything you're experiencing, everybody, everything you're seeing and hearing is because of Kyle Wiley in the district office. On behalf of everybody at Kern High School District, thank you for doing this. And as you see this shot, Kevin, you can go ahead and show everybody down there, the guys getting their medals and what it's all about down there. Petrocelli starting it off and getting the first medal of the day. Gentlemen, thank you.